Nice timing. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dungeon the Mad Mage. This is session 22. We've been dealing with a couple little technical things here or there. I've been doing a lot of work over the past 2 weeks over the little vacation that we had for Christmas, setting up different things, and some of the team has been doing a lot of work. I do want to give a shout out to Jay for helping me a lot with tokens and things like that. He's been doing amazing, helping me out with that type of stuff. I really want to give a shout out to Zach for actually working with his audio, because while it's been good and it's been perfectly fine, he's been wanting to go without a headset for a while, and he didn't have to put as much effort into it as he has, but he has, so that's fantastic. Jake gets no shout out because fuck Jake. I got nothing for this week. And Mitch is here. He's just not here. He is. Mitch, where are you at right now, Mitch? What location are you at right now?
He's in mute land.
I'm muted. I'm over at great. I'm just over at Rachel's.
Okay, so you're not like great distances away. You're just like over at the other place.
I'm like 10 minutes away from Jake.
Oh, wow! But that actually is
That's
a little
not
bit
creepy at all.
That's a little bit of ways from where you live at. So
yeah, it's about like 40 minutes away from my drive from my house.
But he is still with us tonight, which is awesome. So we appreciate that greatly. Anyways, so that is enough jaw jacking from me. Does anyone have anything before we get started? Yes,
no.
Going once, going twice.
I will say Rachel's internet is a little bit slower than mine, so when we transition different screens, things get a little bit robot-y, so I will probably not talk much right as we transition.
Not a problem. Well, so we'll let you kind of like be more of a passive scenario tonight. That is perfectly fine. You just let me know if anything goes on. I'll try to keep a better eye on the chat than I normally do, so if you need anything specific, you can always message me, and if everyone else help me out, if I don't see something, call my attention to it. All right, so
You got it, boss.
let's go ahead. Let me kick up my music real quick, and I'm gonna put you guys back on the start page.
You can't stop the music.
All right,
Someone watch Pitch Perfect.
a little bit of a synopsis.
I watch it often. I love Pitch Perfect.
Do you watch it often?
Fantastic movie.
Often, yes.
I just watched 3 earlier this week.
I accidentally downloaded a 60 gigabyte version to fucking Jordan's Plex.
Did you really?
Sure did. Still have it.
Does he have a data cap?
No, we're on Google Fiber.
Oh, nice. All right.
That's unfair.
Let's do some D&D. Previously on Dungeon of the Mad Mage, the party had bested the Xanathar agents of the Deadeye's watchpost. The battle had left the party victorious, but wounded. They decided to rest within the watchpost itself. Unbeknownst to them, another small group of bugbears was nearby, hidden behind a secret wall. When the party's guard was lowered, the bugbears sprung their trap. The ensuing battle was short but vicious, with Bones nearly losing his life. Fortunately, the party was able to make the best of the situation. Afterwards, they searched the now revealed hidden chambers to find yet another mysterious portal. This one opened by touching it with ferrous metal, which then turned to rust. The party also found an ancient dwarven armory, stuffed with hidden loot and a magic wand. Still injured and now burdened with plunder, the party headed back out of the dungeon, stopping by the goblin market long enough for Bones to have terse words with Pibble and Groin. A short journey later, and the party once again breathed fresh, though cold, air. The freeze had come to Waterdeep right on time, and the party now found themselves in an icy winter wonderland. After taking the time to run errands and deal with some downtime activities, the party spent the night in the comfortable luxury of their home at Trollskull Manor. The following morning of Uktar the 22nd was cold and bitter, and though there was some debate over whether the party should gather their strength further, ultimately, the decision was made to head back into Undermountain. At the yawning portal, the party underwent their usual preparations, with the morning crowd placing bets and making typical banter with what were now being considered regular adventurers of Undermountain. During this, the party heard tale of a foul issue upon the first floor of the dungeon. Some magical function was producing seemingly endless hordes of rotting flesh of both creature and plant. The disgusting enchantment was without end, and the plague of flies and maggots it had brought forth were causing real problems with the already undead-infested northern portion of the first level. But this was an issue for others to handle, at least for now. The party had further business down in the arcane chambers, so down the party ventured. Not quite to Goblin Town, though. First, they headed to the magic archway they had discovered in the clean magic candle halls. Here, they were intent on seeing if the wand of magic missiles they had newly acquired would activate the magic gate. And indeed, it did, though at some cost to the wand's power. And once again, the party was unable to actually utilize the portal. However, this time, who or whatever it was that was stopping them was a bit more understanding, actually warning them that they shouldn't use the portals until they found the corresponding ones below. This knowledge in hand, they headed down to the second floor of the dungeon, intent on exploring the areas they had previously been unable to, unable to give time, to while Halath Gark was with them. They found themselves at a barred door northwest of the old water pump, behind which a muttering chanting could be heard. Ashes and Matashtai came at the door with a portable ram, and after once, twice, thrice, the door burst open, revealing a barricaded room in the center of which stood a small alchemical lab. And there, a creature made of wood and canvas stood, a shoddy gray cloak wrapped around it, dozens of cloth eyes sewn upon it. A bizarre puppet of Halaster Blackcloak. Okay. That is where we actually pick up, and immediately I'm going to kick everyone over to the Arcane Chambers. Let everyone load in and find themselves. And before we get started, I'm gonna kick over. Before we get started, I'm gonna flip to the Roll20 screen, and I'm gonna zoom way in, and everyone can get a look at the new tokens that we have, the little parchment backgrounds that Jay made for us, which is pretty awesome. I think they look a little bit better than the plain white, which was a little meh. So, but now, before you,
I cannot see anything.
you cannot see anything. Let me double check and make sure that
Yeah,
you're.
I mean,
Isn't it?
Jay,
This character.
it looks amazing. Oh, wow, that black screen is gorgeous.
Thanks, man.
Let me double check. I did do a lot of playing around with tokens and things like that this week, so might not have edited yours correctly. Let me go ahead and remove this. Select this token advance to make sure you have sight. You do not. That's the so
I'm blind.
has sight and save and use selected token and boom, you should be good. Alrighty, fantastic. Okay, so now before you, all kind of except for Ezrah, everyone kind of like crowded up around the I put you guys in the wrong order, my bad. Everyone kind of crowded up around the front of this door, right? You shattered in the doorway, and there's this barricade in front of you of like broken up pieces of furniture, like an ottoman and a pretty like regal chair, but they've all been like ripped to shreds and just like stacked and piled up in front of the doorway, right? But now that that's all kind of like pushed aside, there's this little thin scattering of debris in front of you. And in the center of this room is this small alchemical station with this human-sized Pinocchio version of Halaster. Basically, like it's there's no mistaking it. This is absolutely not a flesh and blood man. You see the gnarled wood of his arms stretched out, and just this canvas sackcloth of a robe basically sitting upon his frame. He turns at you, and you see just these painted blank eyes on his face, but he seems to see you. Right? And he's muttering, and he's waving his hand over this bubbling, kind of like a Bunsen burner type scenario with a little flask sitting over it. And he's muttering and waving his hand. Is anyone trained in Arcana?
I must become real.
If you're trained in Arcana, roll an Arcana check for me.
I am not, and I'm very bad at it.
Okay. I think Ezra is, so he's gonna roll for us.
Even if I can't see it?
Oh, well, I mean, I guess Ezra is so fucking far back down the hall that he can't see it.
Point of inquiry.
Sure.
I thought I was at the corner. I don't know if this was a copy paste or if nothing.
Yeah, no, if you were at the corner, move yourself. I probably just put you in the wrong position.
I thought I was, because I thought I saw something
By all means.
when the door was opened. So then I would have line of sight.
Sure. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and roll for me then.
Ugh.
Down the goblin town.
Ooh, a 10. I think a 10 is enough to get some basic information here. And the basic information that you're getting is that whatever this puppet's doing with its muttering and chanting is you're pretty sure it's not arcane.
Is there any visible strings from the puppet's extremities?
Oh, like going to something? Like it's being
Like
puppeteered?
a strand going up to the ceiling.
Sure, sure. No, the puppet is in fact freestanding. It does not seem to be attached to anything. And again, it sees you. It has turned and looked at you, but it hasn't stopped what it's doing, and it hasn't made any movements or anything like that towards you.
Is it a language that I understand?
It's so to kind of add on to what I had said earlier. It's not arcane in any way, shape, form, or fashion. The language that it's speaking is a language that you can at least understand the basics of, because it's not speaking a language. It's speaking arcane. It's speaking magic, but it's not doing magic.
Weird.
Like,
So he's saying basically verbal components, but he's not casting a spell?
that's what Ezra would be gathering from this,
Okay.
probably.
Hello? How you
hello.
doing over there?
It doesn't seem to respond to you.
I'll draw my sword.
I'm gonna take a step in.
Yeah, and I will also approach.
Okay.
See if he does anything.
Okay,
Can
so
you, understand us?
as soon as you step into the room, right? The puppet immediately, like it had turned to look at you earlier and then kind of like ignored you. As soon as you step into the room, the puppet turns, like full body turns to you, and it holds up his little gnarled nubbins of hands that is basically just like a gnarled knot of wood with sticks out of the knot, right? And it raises its hands at you and it screams, "Terrible and painful magical death! Fireballs! Lightning! Begone!" but nothing happens.
Well, that was uncalled for.
Okay,
I'm gonna
touche.
walk over and push him over.
Yeah. As you walk towards him, right? He menacingly like throws his hands at you, and he seems to like he shouts in this arcane tongue, and he starts to like yell out things, but nothing happens.
Do we get or do I get the impression as a spellcaster that he thinks he is casting spells?
He certainly seems to be trying. Yeah, absolutely.
Push him over.
So you actually walk over and push him. He's not feeble, right? So as you walk over and you like push him, he doesn't just like topple over, but he does like take a couple steps back, and he like from the shove, and he looks at you just like incredulously. Well, I say that. I say he looks at you incredulously. His eyes showed nothing because his eyes are not animated, right? But he gasps, right? Like, like
Is it like the Boston Dynamics robot that they keep trying to kick over?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, kind of that type of situation.
Perfect.
And he looks at you and he says, "How dare you! You must not disturb my work! Begone with you!"
Stopped.
You're the one trying to cast spells at us.
You have invaded my sanctuary! Begone before I strike you down!
I look around him. What's through that door over there?
That is none of your concern! Begone, foul creature!
I walk over to the door.
He doesn't make any move to like follow you or stop you. He just continues to like yell at you and like throw his hands in magical gestures, but nothing happens.
Oh, woe is me. Oh,
It
powerful mage.
hurts.
You just wait until I get everyone in the room.
Well, that'll never happen because Ezra's not going to be in the same room. Ashes.
Okay. So Ashes
why you
and
didn't
Matashtai
use
just
that.
kind of like begin to ignore Halaster Puppet and walk away from him, walk to the other side of the room, right? And it's not an overly difficult process. There is a lot of junk kind of filling out this room, right? Like I said, there's a lot of debris, a lot of torn up furniture. Most of it was used in trying to barricade this door that you came in, but then there's a lot of like little odds and ends, little tables, little stations for what seems to be like alchemy, right? Actually, I have two alchemists here in the party. So, Ashes and Ezrah both. Go ahead and roll me. Intelligence checks, just straight intelligence checks. And I think you both can have advantage on this.
Okay.
Okay, so Ashes, you're probably just like a little less concerned with it. You give it an eye, but then you
Right.
just don't really put much thought into it. Ezra, you're a little more probably, and I mean I guess the suits, because Ezra's a little bit more of a worrywart. So Ezra's actually really concerned about some of the stuff. But as you're looking around, like much like the puppet is doing magic, the puppet is doing alchemy. So
Water in one vial, oil in another vial.
well, no, there's some stuff here, right? There's like vials of acid and things like that. There are things that you could totally do alchemical experiments with. It's just this puppet clearly doesn't have any concept of what it's doing or understanding of what it's actually doing, so, you know.
He's like a kid in a bathtub making potions.
Maybe. Yeah, it's like crushing up berries and mixing them together with random shit and just being like, it's a healing potion, drink it.
So now that Ezra has kind of ascertained that this is fake magic and fake alchemy,
Sure.
Ezra would approach and begin inspecting the puppet, trying to understand the mechanics. If it's a mechanical If it's arcane, what might be the source of its power? Trying to understand how it works.
Okay. Sure. Roll me an investigation check then. Okay. So as you kind of like, you just walk up to it and you start to kind of like give it the old once over, right? The puppet's still yelling and throwing his hands out, and it looks offended that you're like so casually just ignoring it, and you see it like pause for a second, right? And then it kind of steps towards you and it shoves you. Like it takes a page from Matashtai's book and it shoves you.
Damn, rest in peace.
Ooh.
And it's not like a hard enough shove to like be of concern to
hands.
like actually knock you to the ground or anything like that. But it's like it's one of those like, you want to fight, bro? Like it just like pushes you. Like, excuse you.
You're getting pissy.
Yeah.
It's rude.
I demand fisticuffs.
But that being said, right, in
slap
regards
fight.
to your actual investigation, it seems as if this creature is more animated by magic than machine, right? It really does seem to be mostly fabricated of wood and string and canvas than anything else. So you don't see moving gears or parts and pieces. You guys are at least a slightly bit familiar with like the wonders that Gond and his priests produce, right? Inventions and machines and things like that. This doesn't really fit that bill. This seems like someone got a little bit bored and made some weird ass fucking puppet man.
I wonder who it
I
was.
wonder who
Someone
that
got
was.
a little bored.
Look, man.
Is that-
Let's
Is
just
there
throw a rope
anything
around his
that-
neck and carry him around like Golem, like in like Return of the King.
Jesus.
Wow, Jay.
Oh my
Halaster,
God.
come!
Lead us
Come
to
along
Master.
now.
Goodness,
Master hurts us. Hurts us.
goodness
It,
gracious.
After that, Ezra would see if there's anything of value to
There,
for utility.
like I said, there are some basic things that you would utilize in alchemy, like some basic acids and distilled water, those types of things. But nothing in enough of a quantity that would probably be of useful concern to you. You could, I mean, if you broke down, if you like packed up, like put up and packed up all of the stuff, it would be a nice complement to an alchemy station or something like that, but it'd be a lot to carry. Even like, I mean, it would be a lot to carry for like a strapping lad like Ashes or something like that. It's because it's not just like a single station.
It all seems like stuff that just an alchemy. It's an alchemy set. Is what
It's an alchemy set, but it's like I think Zach said it well, right? It's like a kid's alchemy set, right?
So,
it
so
has
there's nothing new or special.
exactly.
or
It has a
anything
bunch of the
value.
little parts and pieces of what a real alchemy station would have. It just doesn't have enough to thrill a real alchemist, right?
Ezra would move along then.
Okay. So as you kind of like move along, right? The puppet's like, yeah, that's what I thought. Big man, just walking away.
Just
Yeah, right.
cast dispel magic on him and just
Carry
kill
on
him.
then.
Just crumple
So-
to
so
a
you guys are just
glassy
like, okay.
pile of wood.
Ezra would summon his mage hand and push the thing.
And it doesn't have a lot to like be able to fight you. And amusingly, right, this thing isn't much heavier than 10 pounds, so you actually can give it a little bit of a shove, not enough to like really cause anything. Again, not enough to knock it down or anything like that. But he gets affronted. He doesn't leave his space. Like he doesn't leave his little station where he's working, right? He seems like he doesn't have a concept of going beyond it. So, assuming that you guys kind of like just remove yourself from the situation, go around Halaster Puppet, you head to this other door, right? And Bones, you don't see anything using your passive perception. You don't see anything of interest about it or anything like that. And the door itself is not locked. So, what do you guys want to do?
We open it.
Okay. So, Matashtai, you're the one speaking. Are you the one opening it?
After I check for traps.
Okay. So, if you want to actually in-depth check, go ahead and roll a perception check for me. Otherwise, Bones, you're sitting at an 18 on passive perception, right?
18 passive, yeah.
Okay, so otherwise, an 18 is not finding anything. Okay, and so neither is the 13. So, you kind of like give it a once-over. You check the seams and everything like that, and then you're like, it's fine. And you go to open the door, and there is a slight click.
Awesome.
And then a hiss.
Damn it.
I dive.
There's a snake.
And you guys see Matashtai dive away as the door opens and nothing happens. It's just the pressure that had kind of built up had created this kind of vacuum seal, and as Matashtai had broken that seal, it had vented.
I was hovering
just a tad.
over the deck save button.
So Matashtai goes, throws himself to the side, but
I get up and dust myself off.
Yeah, you all right there, buddy?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Good, all right.
You fool! You look like an idiot!
I go over and I kick his head off.
Do you actually go over there and kick his head off?
Yeah, I go over and I kick his head off.
Okay, so Matashtai just like mad guy marches over to the puppet and just like roundhouse kicks his head off. The puppet itself is unable to really combat you, right? It doesn't have any real skill in combat. So you kick its head off without any real difficulty, and the whole thing, like the head flies across the room and lands, and it looks at you and it goes, I can't believe you did that! And then the whole body collapses, and as it collapses, you see the chest cavity kind of swing open, and you see this flask pop out, and then hit the, like, as it falls onto the body, and it shatters, and it's this flask of, like, orangish, bright orangish liquid, and immediately as it shatters, it ignites, and the whole body goes up in flames, and the body starts to writhe as it's burning in the center of this alchemy station, and the head, like 10 feet away, goes, "Oh! Oh! Ah!" Right?
Damn. Nobody liked that.
And it does that for like a good 30 or 40 seconds before it all falls quiet, and the alchemist fire that burns away at the body just begins to dissipate, right? It burns through the canvas and the wood and everything like that. The whole thing just burns, and everything goes quiet for a second, and then you all look up and you see, wow, right? You hear this, and then this purple eye just appears kind of like over the whole thing. And it looks around, looks at each of you, looks down, and then you all hear this voice, right? You hear this, "Ah! Now who will find the cure to filth fever?"
Don't know.
That's it.
Matt skulks away.
And then the eye just kind of like winks out of existence.
You know, sometimes I wonder if this is all just a fever dream that I'm having.
And Halaster Puppet is no more. Yes, right? Sometimes it does feel like that.
I don't feel good about that. I didn't expect him to spontaneously combust when I kicked him.
That's fair. It didn't happen very often.
Most people don't have alchemist fire in them.
Most people don't have a self-destruct sequence. Like, what the fuck?
And you know, I'm starting to believe that he didn't actually feel any pain at all. I think he just felt like that was what he should be doing. Is the head doing anything?
No, the head. Obviously, the head didn't burn, right? But the head's now just sitting there. Hasn't spoken in quite some time. Hasn't moved or clacked or clattered.
As we exit the room, we just hear assholes.
What was that?
So,
Is that a hand that
forward.
needs kicking?
Head that needs some more kicking.
That's a mighty kickable head you've got there.
So Ashes and Matashtai, as you guys advance forward, right, you see these kind of stark bare walls, stone walls, leading eastward. There is a slight turn towards the north that looks to be like some sort of doorway. But there is also an extension further that also turns north and seems to continue going. So, what would you like to do now?
I want to
Continue on
explore.
Okay, so everyone go ahead and keep moving yourselves forward. You guys both do move past a stone door right here.
Yeah.
So as you glance around this edge, you see again another bare hallway that kind of extends far into the distant north.
Did the eye dissipate?
Yeah, the eye after kind of like making its comment about filth fever, it just kind of like looked around for a few more seconds and then winked out of existence.
I'd like to check out the top door, please.
Okay. So your passive perception, as you're just kind of like glancing around it, you don't see anything. It doesn't appear to be locked to you, and doesn't appear to be trapped.
Okay.
Okay.
I try it.
Okay. So this one kind of seems to be a little stuck. Right. You have to jimmy the handle a little bit on it, but it does come open without too much difficulty. You want to open the door completely?
Yes, I would.
Okay. You throw open the door, and I need everyone to do nothing, because it's just an empty room on the other side. What you see is
it's a large open room.
A
Is
large
there
open
dust on the
room.
ground?
Yeah. There is
There's
this room is strewn with rotten supplies and the remains of a fire pit. There are 3 bugbear corpses. I don't know why there aren't. See, this is something that I did prior to the thing. The great
incident.
The great purging
the great
of your Roll20.
the great purging of 2019, where I lost all the work that I had done. I like, so in the basic module, it does this thing where it's like, this room has bodies in it, right? But then it doesn't show the bodies, and I'm like, I get what you're doing. You're doing it because you don't want to like take up room or space or anything like that. But also, I think it makes everything just super barren. So there are 3 bugbear corpses in here, as well as the corpse of one of those little brain doggies, and intellect about.
Right. All right. I'll step in and quickly inspect the bodies. And are there holes in any of their heads where they've seemingly came out of?
Yeah, one of the bugbears definitely has a chunk of brain matter and skull missing, where it looks like the intellect devourer maybe came out of. The other 2 do not. Their brains are intact, but they are covered in like battle wounds, like sword wounds, axe wounds. Like they fell in a conflict via weapon and magic.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, dirty work, but just to be safe, I'm gonna take my sword and spear their heads.
Gotcha. So
Hell
you do
yeah.
actually see something as you're kind of like going through the corpses and making sure they're dead. You see a scrap of parchments kind of hanging out of one of the pockets of one of the bugbears. And would you like to take it, or do you want to not mess with it?
I would like to first make sure that there's no baby brains in there that's gonna fuck with us.
Yeah. So you do
Okay.
your duty where you and you find nothing
Then
but
yes.
soft, mushy,
Gross.
dead bugbear.
Yes, I would like to
Okay. So you take this
grab the
parchment. And on this parchment, kind of scrawled in common, in pretty poor handwriting, is a phrase. It says, "As many as there are stars in the sky." And that's it. There's nothing else on the parchment.
I was waiting. I'm like,
Nope.
and
Nope, that's it. Nothing else. So,
Weird.
as you guys are kind of like looking around this room and seeing what's going on here, you see graffiti. You see little signs here or there, and you see things like a small chalk circle with 10 equidistant spokes around it, right? You see things that you are beginning to see frequently. Like you've seen these on the first
Human
floor.
alchemy.
You've now seen them on the second floor, you know? So,
is there anything else in the room?
Practitioners of human alchemy.
not
Okay, cool. Well, all right. Well,
really.
if nothing cool's going on here, I'm gonna go ahead and move on then, and go on through into the next area.
It looks like it's the remnants of a camp, basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I figured it probably smells like real bad, so I'm putting on my little mask.
Yeah,
Because
the
generally, it's my experience that in the back of these things, there's usually a toilet. So
okay. You actually, so you go looking up, and you see the hall extends beyond your vision to the north. And you
okay, well, I don't go any farther than this.
you don't
without
smell
this.
anything as far as like poo goes. So everyone else making way with Bones? Is that the plan?
Correct.
Yes.
Making our ways downtown.
Sounds good.
Walking fast, walking
So
fast.
you guys do go a little ways down this hall before you you see the hall begins to end to the north and then turn eastward. And you hear this kind of like faint echo. Hear this melody, maybe? A whisper of
A wind whisper, huh? All right, I enter stealth mode.
I also engage stealth mode.
Initiate.
You guys can use your passive stealths, or you can roll if you want.
I want to roll. I came here to roll dice.
Roll it up then.
What the fuck's my passive stealth? I didn't know passive stealth was a thing.
Well, actually, so since you're entering stealth mode, go ahead and roll for me. What I use passive stealth as kind of like a general marker for you guys when you're walking around. But what
I roll
passive
advantage
stealth
because
is
of my boots of velvet
it's
kind.
basically whoever the lowest person is, which is normally Jay or Ashes. So. All right,
I'm
so
gonna hang back a little bit and let these guys.
so Bones is the goddamn knight. Gotcha.
I am the
okay.
knight. The elven knight.
So, you can go ahead and continue to move yourself down the hall as far as you would like.
I sneak stealthily forward to the corner.
I sneak
So-
just as
Just real
stealthily
quick, just like
forward.
Gotcha. So you come to this corner and you see the hall turns eastward and then ends and then goes southward. But that melody a little louder now, just a little clearer.
I tap him on the shoulder.
You
And then
what?
in his
can't
mind,
hear
I
you.
say, "Oh, sorry." I tap you on your shoulder, and in your mind, I go, "Tell me what your cat eyes see."
Nothing. I mean, nothing. It's just a corner, my dude.
Let's move in.
This is mind palace speak.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how loud I am, or
Okay.
does it? Oh.
So
I mean, don't want to scare people with a loud voice booming in their head.
All right, so the sound is louder, but it just looks.
It's still quite faint, right? Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's just around the corner, but you can hear it a little more clearly now.
Okay. All right. Snake.
So you sneak forward and you see again, right? You come to this corner and the hall curves southward. That music gets a little louder. It sounds like a piano, maybe? The distance?
They're playing the
Damn, a
current song.
piano? I want to check that out. That sounds fucking dope. Snake.
Yeah.
Snake, snake.
They keep sneaking forward and using kind of like your just basic like geometry. You see the hall continues southward, and realistically, if it continues southward, it probably meets that hall to the room that you had just been in. Right?
Yes, that was my guess.
And then it cuts eastward and then further south.
I see. So.
And that now that music, right, that you can hear is definitely it's loud enough for you to actually hear the melody being kind of like played out softly, slowly.
Right.
Definitely a keyed instrument.
But I'll be honest with you, there's something. This little alcove, this bothers me. Is there anything in this alcove?
Roll a perception check.
Well.
There doesn't.
Is there anything like a statue? Or...
No, you don't. There's nothing just sitting there. No.
Okay, well then I definitely want to check the alcove out pretty like thoroughly.
Okay.
So
Is it
perception.
smooth walls, or what do we got going on here?
It is absolutely just smooth wall. It's smooth, dusty wall.
Dusty. Any sign of footsteps going towards the?
If anyone needed to know that. Don't know how that got clicked.
Say what? Oh, your simple weapon proficiency. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I don't know how.
You don't see. There's nothing. Like there aren't any real tracks. There's no nothing marring the walls. No frescoes. No cracks. No seams or anything like that. Just carved stone.
That's
You know what?
I turn to ashes. I say that's a weird little nook. I don't like it. Did I say that too? I meant to say it to Matt.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say odd. Yes.
Ashes is not
Pretty,
here.
pretty weird alcove right there.
To the night.
I mean, Matashtai, were you not wanting to also?
Oh, I didn't think I would beat his, but we'll try.
It might not matter, but you never know. Hey! Twinsies!
We're very consistent.
You're very consistent.
Yep. We checked all the same
the
things.
Absolutely did. Alright, so you begin to head further south. And that
You know, we haven't done it in
melody.
a while. I'm gonna kind of tap Owens on the shoulder for a moment and just say, hold on one second. I'm gonna see if we can get a decent creature to help us out from the bag. And I'm gonna reach into the
I'm holding.
bag of fake creatures
Okay.
and try and pull out. Like, you know, it'd be really cool as like a panther or something. I don't know if I can choose things, but like, I'm thinking like something stealthy and combat capable.
Okay. Okay. Roll a d8 for me.
Okay.
So to answer your
It's a
question,
beat.
no, you do
Like
not
a
get to
short
choose.
Oh
Ooh!
god, it's the big ass elk.
Is it?
Oh no!
So you
Oh no!
you throw out, and
The Princess Mononoke god.
all of a sudden, oh no, do I not have? I might have to pull it from the. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so you pull out. Oh no, that's not the right one. Let me search the SRD real quick. Oop.
Giant elk.
normal elk is a large creature. A giant
Yeah.
elk is a
You-
huge
You
creature.
throw it out, and it immediately like it engulfs the space, and
Start screaming.
right
Oh
is
god, oh god, I send it away. I send it away. I send it away.
and immediately like you see this look on you, and you feel that mental connection as Wolf tries to like breach your mind and be like, what the hell, right? And then you're just like,
Why
oh
you
nope,
keep
and
doing
you just
this?
boom, and then it's just gone.
Like, could they just not be a goddamn elk?
Any of the other ones would have been fine.
Any other creature would have been fine.
Any of the other ones would have been fine.
When we need the giant elk, it's never.
It's
gonna
never gonna be the elk.
Nope.
This is
All right.
be a
So I
rat
think I can
or
do it 3
something.
times a day, right?
it's an amazing magic item for you guys. As far as you're aware, yes, you're 3 times a day.
I'm gonna reach in and try to grab another creature. Something more stealthy this time. Okay.
I was so hoping.
While
It
that
would have been
was
really funny.
going on, could Ezra be like groping the wall, inspecting it, looking for triggers, or
Yeah.
just
Groping the wall.
Oh, that
wall.
that same wall up there. Yeah, by all means, go
Like,
ahead.
they clearly had interest, so I'm gonna get in there and see if there really is something.
Have at it.
trigger, Or are we good with investigation due to groping?
And probably not. No, it's still gonna be a perception check.
Feel like you keep changing how things work, Jeremy.
No. Well, here's the thing. Even what do you have for an investigation?
+6.
A +6. So even with a +6, it's not gonna matter.
Okay.
So.
Damn, there must really be nothing or everything.
Or everything. Or absolutely everything. Okay. You feel around, and again, there don't seem to be any seams or hidden switches or levers. There's no like hollow sound or anything like that. There's no signs that this alcove is anything but an alcove.
Cool.
And then Matashtai, you reach back into the bag after kind of like panic dismissing Wolf in its great elk form. You reach back in the bag and you feel another ball of fur and you throw it out, and it lands as a little badger.
Mushroom.
Little. I don't need 2 of them. Wait, why do I have health and stuff like that for one, but not the other? What are you doing to me, game? There we go. Better.
One is
All right.
consequential and one is not.
So it lands, right? And it looks up at you, and immediately you get this mental connection of just like, stop doing that!
Stop being an elk.
Stop being an elk.
So I can't control it! That's not how it works!
Well, maybe
Read
that's
the
how
room,
it should
man.
work.
What do you
Alright,
want?
well, just gonna-
What do you want, bitch?
Well, I was just
Sick of your
trying to
shit.
get you out here for some action, so we get into a fight here. Are you capable of fighting as a badger?
It looks kind of like down at itself, like realizing its form for a second, and just kind of sighs.
Oh no.
Says, well, can't really die, so. And here's a kind of a weird thing, right? It's not, it's kind of like resting on its haunches. Like, so it kind of like actually looks a little animated. It tosses up its hands, right? In badger form. And it looks a little weird. Like it's trying to be humanoid, but
Anthropomorphized.
yeah,
version.
yeah. Like it's a full badger body, right? There's nothing strange about it. It's just the way Wolf is holding itself is a little strange. Oh, dear boy. So Wolf will look at you and be like, "You want me to like?"
Scratch at him.
Yeah, well, we're being sneaky right now, so why don't you sneak with us? See anything worthy of ankle biting, bite them ankles.
He starts and just starts slowly trotting down the hall towards
smell
the
music.
next corner. Starts sniffing. Okay, and at this point, right? At this point, you guys can clearly hear the melody of some sort of piano or actually, let's see. People will roll me a performance check.
Roll you a performance
Yeah,
check?
roll me a performance check. Because I'm gonna count this not as your ability to perform, but as your ability to recognize a performing
Man, I'm a fucking god.
We only have a banjo in the mountains.
instrument.
I'm learned.
um.
Too much time with Tulip.
Ooh, nice
Also
with
not a
yeah,
knife.
with bones and ashes. Very good job on both of them. I would say both of you recognize this. The instrument being played is a harpsichord.
I see.
Okay.
And it is playing this kind of haunting melody.
I feel haunted.
I feel melodic.
I sneak up with Badger Wolf.
Okay.
And look around.
Hold on.
What?
Nothing. I just didn't advance, so I can't see. Hey, I can
Oh.
go on this wall.
Gotcha. Uh-oh. Did I freeze? Somebody check the stream for me. Did I freeze? Did?
Yes, sir. Oh, it looks like it's back.
Okay, it's back. Gotcha. All right. So as you round the corner, what you see here is in the middle of this room is a harpsichord made entirely of bone. You see the keys seem to be made from the finger bones of various humanoids. Some short and squat, some narrow and long, and still others twice or three times the size of those around them. Great femurs and other various bones making up the overall structure of the harpsichord. The somber kind of haunting music emanates from it. And you see slowly plays.
There's no one sitting at it? It's just playing itself?
Seems to be.
Weird.
I'm not an expert on musical instruments, but I don't normally do that, right?
Hey guys, what you found? What the fuck is that?
What the fuck is that? And Ashes, as you step a little bit further into the room, you are able, not only, your attention is immediately drawn to the harpsichord, yes, but immediately afterwards, especially since I imagine, Ashes, you like whip your head back to look at everyone else, you see, written across the northern portion of the wall, right? You see a single measure of musical notes carved into the wall. They are faded and difficult to read.
It was weird how you said that sentence, my dude.
Does anybody know how to read music?
Do any of you have proficiency in performance?
No.
I do not.
Well, I don't.
And
Did you say
No.
me, Matt?
No, I said I do not.
Oh.
then none of you by default know how to read music. No.
Well, I know how to copy shit down, so
I was
I'll
gonna
pull
say-
up my black book, and I'll try my best to replicate it.
Sure,
Just how many
absolutely.
bars. All right.
Gotcha.
So
So
at
I
least
mean,
I'll have a copy.
I'm going from a mechanical standpoint. So from a mechanical standpoint, none of you guys know how to read music just based off of pure mechanics. But if any of you feels right that hey, maybe this was a part of my backstory, maybe I did some sort of like musical training when I was a child or a teen or something like that, then I will let that argument stand and we can put that to the test to see if you indeed know your stuff.
So Ezra did do a lot of studying in a particular school
Sure,
in Waterdeep that
absolutely.
is known for bards and wizards.
Sure.
So...
But the question is, does any of that rub off on Ezra?
Whoa,
So
Jeremy. Whoa.
if you want to, you can attempt to roll a performance check to see if you can indeed read this music.
Roll above a 5 question. Hey. Above a 5, I am happy, Jeremy.
It's questionable, right? But you're not quite sure. Like you think you have the gist of it, right? In reading it, but playing it would be a whole nother thing.
2 things. Can I compare my understanding of what I'm seeing to the tone that is being played and see if those match?
I will say with the 14, yes, it seems to be. This might be not the entirety of what the harpsichord is playing on its own, but it does seem to probably be a portion of it.
And then with that comparison, can I look at Ash's rendition to confirm that he in fact accurately recorded it?
If he's willing to show you, sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's close enough. There might be a few little blemishes here or there, but nothing that would make it unlegible to a person who knows what they're reading.
Okay.
Or illegible.
And those are the only markings on the walls in this room?
Yep, that's it.
Well, I mean, I guess out of curiosity, I'll walk up to the harpsichord. Like I
I was
don't.
about to say,
As
I'm
you
interested to
as you
look at the
approach the harpsichord, right? It is
I don't
in the
know
center
where
of the
it
room.
is
It's in the
exactly,
center
but-
of the room. As you approach it, right? As you come within 10 feet of it, the melody stops. The keys stop. And everything is suddenly silent.
I will play one note.
Which note do you pick?
I don't know. I can't read music, so I don't know what's what.
I'm pretty sure that is copyrighted by Microsoft, Jay.
Do.
As you So what note do you play? Do you just pick a random note?
I pick a note at random.
Okay.
Probably somewhere in the middle of the keys.
Sure. The key does not depress.
All right, I'll move to an adjacent one.
It also does not depress.
I run my hand down the length of the keys.
As you begin to do so, you do feel that some keys seem as though they are willing to move. You have no understanding of the functionality, but Ezra, if you were watching this, you do see that the key that initially moves, or seems as though it is willing to move, is the key that starts the stanza on the wall.
Could I have watched it enough before they approached to have an idea of what the rhythm was?
Yeah, you
Without
can.
having an understanding of.
So with your 14 perception, you have a basic knowledge. It's just whether or not you're capable of replicating different math. So, but yeah, you definitely have a basic understanding of the music on the wall and the music that was being played, etc.
Ezra would step
So
forward
Ashes,
and
as you do that, right? Like there is resistance from this harpsichord. It doesn't seem to want to be played randomly, right? The keys do not depress in that manner. And then Ezra kind of steps forward.
Yeah, I'll step aside.
And Ezra will attempt to
You're gonna try to play the music.
pretend like he knows what he's doing.
Okay. If
It's
you're
like the
going to,
puzzle in
if you're
Resident
gonna try
Evil
to play the music, I need a performance check from you. Pull up. Performance is normally charisma, right? Okay. There's a very funny thing here, right? This is specifically called out in the notes of this thing. This is an intelligence performance check.
Only subtract 1 from my result then.
Only subtract 1? It's not adding? Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, because you're a sorcerer, actually.
Yep.
So
So
what
a 14.
you all watch, right, as Ezra steps forward. And as he steps forward, right, he begins to play. Ezra's hands begin to flow across the keys, giving life to this somber tune. But as he plays, there's a mist here. Sharp. Flat. Botched hand movement here
Perfect.
or there. And about halfway through the stanza, after Ezra makes his 4th or 5th mistake, the harpsichord, ill-content with this rendition, a surge of energy shoots up through it, and Ezra, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh.
Something I'm decent at. These rolls tonight, boys.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
no.
wow. Your DC was a 15. So that is a fail. This wave of energy that shoots up through the keys and into your hands burns and rends and tears. You feel a familiar energy, an energy that you use, a necrotic energy, begin to surge up through your hands and wither away at your flesh. You take 33 necrotic damage.
I am unconscious.
And as Ezra falls back from the harpsichord, knocked unconscious by this surge of energy, you all see his hands fly up, completely devoid of flesh. Just bones.
Damn.
And he falls back and collapses, unconscious.
Rest in peace, my dude.
Oh shit. I pull out the staff of healing.
Okay.
I whack him in the
Matashtai,
head.
you pull out the
Heal.
Staff of Healing in a panic and immediately, like, go to Cure Wounds on Ezra. Go ahead and cast it.
Okay, I'm on it. Boom, cure wounds.
Ezra, there is a moment of eternity, right as you lose consciousness, as this energy hits you and you fall back, you crumple to the ground, and then an eternity passes before you feel that light hit you and your lungs refill with air and you're back conscious. You gasp and look around and reach up and touch your face with skeletal hands.
Wait, for real?
The healing magic of the staff is enough to bring Ezra back to life, yes, but whatever enchantment has been placed upon this harpsichord, whatever foul ritual has taken hold of Ezra, the flesh has been stripped from his hands. They are now...
Do they move like normal?
They move exactly like...
Damn, strip the flesh.
So,
but right at the wrists.
does it hurt?
There's no pain. Right at the wrists, the flesh turns in, surrounds bone, and there's a thick kind of red ring, like it's feverish or infected, right? It kind of burns, tingles just a tad.
Peter Tingle.
If I wasn't already self-conscious about my appearance, Jeremy.
I'll
that ain't good right there.
I'll actually like bust out the healer's kit, and I'm assuming there's going to be items there like bandages or something.
Bandages,
that I can at
sure,
least,
absolutely.
like wrap it up with, or maybe do like
you got like a pair of gloves you could give him?
There's...
I mean, if there's like some like ace bandage, I could at least wrap the fingers.
You could absolutely begin to wrap up Ezra's hands. Ezra, you're kind of sitting there on the ground as this is happening, right? Kind of in this dazed, confused. You watch as Ezra, or as Ashes begins to try to like bandage up your hands to do something in the situation, and you kind of you feel your flesh. You feel as if it's still there. Like
invisible flesh.
But it's not. It's bone.
Is it phantom pain or?
Yeah, it's phantom pain.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so you can still feel your hands. You still have touch, but only in some weird phantom pain remnant. Yeah, there's this whole thing is just reeking of weird magic.
I step away from this harpsichord.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, we probably ought not mess with that.
who's next?
Do you all step away from the harpsichord?
Yep.
No?
Yeah.
As soon as all of you are beyond like 10 feet of it, starts to slowly play the melody.
And this is why I don't interact, Jeremy.
It could have been great though. You never know. Like,
By the way, Jeremy, amazing 40-10 roll.
all right, that's a really good 40-10 roll.
I can't roll above a 5, but you will roll.
Hey, look.
That's a high end.
So what? You have
some
skeleton
nights.
hands for a little bit. It's whatever. It's fine.
All right, it's just.
Obaya might be able to fix it.
Who goes through a D&D campaign and gets to in any part of it get to say, yeah, my character has skeletal hands. What?
If I knew anything about music, I'd have made the roll.
So
And his name is Bones, so it would have made more sense.
that's true.
Ha!
Yeah, but I also need my hands.
And I don't.
Correct.
No, you don't need that fine motor control.
Definitely not at all.
I'll tell Ezra like to grip my hand, see if like he still has like real use of it. Like if
Absolutely.
he's gotta-
Yeah, without any real difficulty. Although you do feel Ashes, you feel weird skeletal hands in your grip, right? But Ezra, you feel this phantom pressure of the flesh that once was.
Does it feel normal to me?
It doesn't.
Or does it feel different?
Yeah, it doesn't feel normal. It definitely feels different. There's definitely this. It's not. It doesn't hurt. It's not painful, but it's distant. Yeah, it's like it's a memory rather than actually happening.
My brain is telling me what I should be feeling.
Absolutely, it is your brain trying to interpret what it does not understand.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool.
That's phantom pain. Well, this is rather awkward, but I might be a good idea if we keep moving.
That somber tune just playing on the.
Yeah, let's leave this cursed place and never return.
Well, I mean,
So
there's got to be something here. It's just that we got to find somebody who knows how to play.
You're right. Let's get a bard to come down here.
I mean, we could get two strings. He'd be great. He wouldn't mind coming down here at all, right?
So
Absolutely.
we think if someone plays it well, it's gonna fix Ezra.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe because this isn't natural. Like if it was just damage that ripped his flesh off, yeah. But look at the wrist. Like
Maybe he's just cursed.
well, I mean, if that's the case, Obaya should be able to fix it.
Yeah, there was a period of time where old Aster messed with some stuff and he got cursed.
Yeah, he kind of sounds like a dumbass.
Yeah, honestly, he was not smart, but he got things done.
So, having nothing else to do in this situation and unwilling to try your luck
Literally
with the
anything else?
harpsichord, you
Not touching it.
guys venture back the way you came.
All right, here we go.
Ow.
We should get the badger. Oh yeah,
You're
Ezra
fine.
only
You
has
drink a
10
potion?
HP.
That's true. Ezra does have 10 HP. Would you guys like
Here,
to take
buddy,
a
have a potion?
short rest or down a couple potions or something?
Nah, drink
You want-
potion.
Drink potions?
No, don't drink potions. I'm gonna toss a couple more charges of the staff on you.
Gotcha. Use
Alright,
what you
don't drink
got. Let's hit him with that staff. Got another 10. Good. We feeling pretty or we want to keep going? Okay, we'll go for one more. Another
Nice.
9. Alright, you're pretty good now. Pretty good. Pretty Gucci, man.
Okay, all right. I feel good about that.
Hell yeah! I'm a dope ass healer.
You guys want me to mark bullshit piano as a point of interest in the future?
No, we're not interested in it.
So that as a note. So if someone will do me a favor and keep notes on what you guys do want me to mark, and then give me those notes at the end of a session. That way I can like update the maps in between each session. That would be awesome. So you guys head back northward the way you came, right? Bones runs off into the night. Bones.
Yes.
You don't have anything else. You just have a. Never mind. I take it back.
Okay.
We're good.
All right. I also am good.
Okay.
For now.
So, do you guys want to just head back to Halaster Puppet's room?
Well, there was another door or another way we didn't go that was just past Halaster Puppet's room.
So
Nah.
I'm gonna teleport you guys real quick, or at
Okay,
least the ones that are remaining. What you find is as you turn south the way you came, this is what you. So northward is the east direction that you
gotcha.
came. So that's what you would have seen, as this is a way we could have gone.
Okay, cool. So everything back there is explored. Is the head still present?
The head is still present, but it is still
in the
lifeless.
exact same position as where it was left?
Roll me a history check.
History.
What
All
head
right.
are you talking about?
The
Bugbear?
Halaster puppet's head.
Oh, okay.
Damn it.
No, it shifted at least a couple inches. Definitely. Strange,
I'll walk up to it,
spooky shit
and I'll,
going
and I'll,
on.
I'll toe it. I'll like poke it.
Doesn't react.
Hey, you there?
Look, we didn't mean to decapitate you and burn your body. You just
Poke,
talked
poke.
shit, so you got
Kick,
hit.
kick.
Nothing. Can I give you? I can't. I'm gonna give you control of the badger real quick. Mitch. There you go.
Are we? Is this floor 2? Are we still on floor 2 now?
Yeah,
Or are we
you
on
are.
floor
You guys
1?
are on
Yeah.
floor 2,
What
the
part
arcane
of floor
chambers.
2 are we on? Is this the far left-hand side? Upper left, northwest?
Well,
Jake.
Badger's gonna be real good at dying.
Jake has left us.
Ruin the layout.
Oh no. Here, he'll be back moment.
Way to go, Jeremy. You pissed him off.
No. I'm gonna
Wow.
bring him with us. Okay.
You make somebody's hands skeletal. They just can't take it. No, I'm sure his internet's just fucked up.
No, I'm sure he just like crap. Be right back. Faded and... All right. So while we are waiting for, he's typing right.
I'll see what you did. I called it.
Yeah, let's do. Since Jake's having some difficulty, let's have a quick break. It is 8 o'clock already, anyways. We're going
party.
on. And we'll see everyone back here shortly.
Cool.
Alright.
kind of right on that tail. I mean, you might have been a little too early. Anyways, we're back, guys. Hello. The party has traveled back from the chamber of the haunting harpsichord. I don't actually know that that's what that chamber was called.
It's called now.
I think that chamber in my notes is marked the music of the dead. But Ezrah has himself a newfound pair of skeleton hands, and the party has decided to venture away from that bullshit and head back from whence they have come. So now you guys find yourself back at the doorway where you had broken down the barricade into Halaster Puppet's room. Now, where would you like to go? Yes.
This way.
I don't know where we are in relation. Don't we just need to go back to Goblin Town and go all the way down, or?
Well, I think there are a
that's
couple
supposed
of
to be on the
places.
left,
You guys
right?
can go from Goblin Town, like if you check your map, you guys can go from Goblin Town, that's one thing. Or you can go.
We have the giant slime room, and then we have all the way down.
Yeah. But
There's
not.
also the
like, up at the
kitchen.
Yeah,
crossroads
there's the
as well.
kitchens to the southwest from where you guys are currently, and then there's also, remember in the Lightning Skulls room, there was a way down southeast
the
from there.
Voice. The
So you guys
yeah,
have
I'm
like
not going
three
in there. That
options.
sounds like
Well, I mean,
chicken.
you guys got plenty of options, but you got like past the Goblin Market is one option, southwest to the kitchens is another option, and then southeast past the Lightning Room is a third option. So what are you guys feeling?
Since we're over here, let's check the kitchens out.
Kitchen
Yeah,
room?
yeah.
Oh,
Now
yeah,
that we
yeah.
don't have one Haleth Gark to press
Haleth
us.
Green.
You don't have to worry about the time constraints.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and head yourselves back down that direction. So you head through the big open room with the old water pump still sitting there in the center of the room, down towards the alchemy chambers, right, where the eastern portion led you to the ozone-filled area, the lightning area. This western portion takes you to this big area over here. Has the huge swaths of like alchemy, old ancient styled alchemy scenarios, and then there's this big, you guys have walked into this big kitchen area, right? So all lining the walls here are there are pots, pans. There's a hearth with a big covered cooking pot in it. There are various cooking utensils. And now that you guys are actually in this room, right, and you're close enough to see things, right, you can see this door to the northwest. There is a sign upon it. Upon the sign are words written in common that read, Calabash's room. Do not enter unless your name is Halaster.
We have a quest for Calabash and stuff.
You guys came so fucking close to it the other day, right? So close to it the other day. So Ashes, you see this, right? You're the closest to the door, so you see this and you just kind of like read this aloud, and then Ezrah, right, that perks your ears quite suddenly.
Yeah, that is information that Mert has asked us to investigate and bring back what we can of this student of Halaster and what he has been, or she has been studying, or was studying.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Okay. Shall I check the door? Although I'm not going to be good at magic stuff.
I feel like
Do you want to check the door?
How about you check for traditional, and I can look for otherwise.
Okay.
I check for traditional.
So as Bones kind of creeps over there, right, and he begins to inspect the door frame, looking for a more traditional fare as far as traps go, right? This heavy kind of like stillness hangs in this kitchen. And suddenly the covered cauldron hanging upon the hearth, kind of shifts and clatters, and the lid slides slightly, and bursting up out of it with this wail is a specter. I need everyone to go ahead and collect their tokens and roll for initiative.
What we are learning is to not touch anything ever.
No. Absolutely not. As this specter screams into life, the around you, right, upon the shelves, these various pots and pans begin to clatter and rattle, and zoom, up come a couple of flying pots, though they are marked as swords tokens. But they're pots. More pots!
Badger attack.
So, un momento, and we will get this started. I need all of you, actually. I don't need any of you to roll anything. Give me just a second, and we'll get this going. I'm gonna try to start using the actual rules here on some stuff. So, heaven forbid I actually use rules.
Wow, Jeremy.
Heaven forbid. Kevin forbid I use rules. Flop on over to the...
Goddamn Kevin.
Okay, so... what we're gonna do is I need...
Do I have Badger stats?
You have Badger stats? You should have control of the entire sheet.
There's a Badger.
Oh, no. Here, let me do
Oh,
this.
Badger does 1 damage.
Yeah, the form that you have is not a good combatant. A giant badger might be a good combatant, but this one is a nigga.
Man, I don't
It's
know
like-
if
Alright.
little badgers.
What did you just say, Jeremy?
A
It's
nugga.
a what? What is it?
A
Huh?
nugga.
Is that what you said?
That is absolutely what I said. I have video to prove
Mhm.
What does that mean? I have never heard that. term before.
It's me slurring the words no-go together.
Yeah. That's what he said.
It absolutely is what I said. Don't with me, Zach. Alright, so what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna check basically to see if you guys get flat-footed. Or the surprise condition. Un momento. Okay. So we have nothing there. That and that.
Ow.
That doesn't really work on the mixed. How does that work? Let me hold up. Let me look this up real quick because I know there are some weird specifics. Does anyone remember the rules for surprise, like verbatim off the top of their head?
I think it's like stealth versus perception or passive
yeah.
perception.
So the
or
thing that's
something
really
like
a
that.
curiosity to me is whether or not there's any question of whether you're surprised if you had absolutely no idea. So like I know if like 2 parties are wondering, each party does their stealth and perception, right? But if one party is there and they absolutely do not know that the other party is there, does that party still need to roll stealth? Right? Is that still a
I don't
thing?
know how we would. Well, okay, so I don't know. So I have like 2 thoughts on this, right? First of all, I mean, like obviously we're obviously wary, right?
Sure,
I mean,
yeah,
checking for
definitely.
traps and shit, but
And that's where like I
on
would
the other
assume
hand, I don't
passive
know how the
perception
fuck we
comes
would
in.
Possibly know anything was in here because we've been in here 3 times.
Uh-huh.
Well, we've
Well,
never
you
been
haven't. You
here.
actually haven't been in the room yet. That's the thing. Is you guys came right here. You came all the way up to the room, but you never came in the room and did anything. And that's the only reason you guys didn't trigger a encounter previously. So combat does.
If neither tries to be stealthy, they automatically know each other. Otherwise, the GM compares dexterity stealth checks to anyone hiding with passive wisdom perception scores of each creature on the opposing side. Any character or monster that doesn't notice a threat is surprised and start at the start of the encounter.
That's what I'm looking.
If you're surprised, you can't move or take action on your first turn, and you can't take a reaction until the turn ends.
Sure.
So
what I
stealth
would
versus passive perception.
So what I would interpret there is basically that the specter so the specter rolled the 3, right? So the specter in its coming out of the cauldron, right, was not fast enough or circumspect enough. Like it made a big show of the whole thing, which allowed the 3 versus your passive, because no one's gonna fail. No one's passive perception is gonna miss the 3, right? Which means none of you are caught flat-footed. Basically, I mean, I shouldn't use the term flat-footed because that's an old term. That's not a 5e term, but that's how it effectively sounds like it works, right? So that's good for you guys. That means we start off combat without anyone being surprised, and Matashtai, you were at the start. Roll for your badger friend, real quick.
Oh, sorry, I thought I did.
You might have, but he didn't make it
Roll
on
for
the
badger.
initiative tracker.
Le badger is
Badger. Cool.
super fast.
Fantastic.
Did I miss something? Why is the double 20? Wow. Why is the Spectre 20? Didn't he roll a nat 1?
No, the nat 1 was on was the stealth check for the Spectre.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it still didn't put the badger up there for some reason. So un momento.
All right. At a quick glance, I'm going to assume that the ghosteel being is the biggest threat to us.
Yeah, so it comes
And
out like full on like screeching, like doing the whole like crazy ghost yell type thing, right? Absolutely.
I'm a ghost. So I'm gonna run up to it,
Sure.
and as I do so, I'm gonna reach down to my hip, and I'm actually going to pull out the Tear of the North, which is my shitty katana I bought in the market.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah,
So you
I
guys
was
see
talking
him
about I had no
pull
memory
out
of what
this
that was.
exotic weapon that some of you might have seen before, but it's a pretty rare type of weapon in these parts.
As I run forward, I'm actually gonna kick out, like a Spartan kick, at the Spectre first.
Sure.
15 hit.
15 does hit, yes.
Okay. So that is 10 damage. It is magical.
Nice. So there is definitely this, as your foot goes through, right, there's definitely this weird resistance, and your leg kind of tingles as it passes through the Spectre itself, but there's enough of a resistance there that it feels like you're making contact,
Okay. After the kick, I'm going to drop down into a drawing stance, and I'm going to slash out.
Slicey, gotcha. How about it? 20 hits.
Oh yes, the
8
blade
damage.
sharpened with Matashtai.
Again, right, you feel this kind of like resistance as the blade slices through, right? And there's this from the Spectre.
Can I
kind of like
stun a
cries
Spectre?
out.
I don't know. Maybe not. Are
I'm
they
gonna
immune to
try.
stun?
The spell has no restrictions on type of creature.
I'm going to try and stun him.
Okay, so what's the DC?
14. Con save.
Oh. Okay, 14 con save. It feels like you shouldn't be able to. But here's going to be a weird thing. And I'm going to look this up later, right? but I don't think I've ever seen any creature that has condition immunity to stun.
I
Probably the
think I have.
Tarask.
Maybe the Tarask.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Tarask. Actually, I wanna do a quick pause because that actually like super interests me. Let's look up Tarask real quick. Tarask has condition immunity to. No,
It
the
just says
Tarask
everything.
does not have a condition immunity to stun. I don't think there is a condition immunity to stun.
Fucking rest in peace.
Does it
Small
actually say stun is the condition?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's
I'm
called Stunning Strike.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's literally, I'm looking at it right now. There's a condition stunned. But that's weird. That seems
The
OP.
Helmed Horror
Helmed Horror?
and the Revenant.
So there are two creatures in D&D 5th edition.
undead and
And the Demi-Lich.
And the Demi-Lich. So we got 3 creatures that are immune to stun in the entirety of
out of the
D&D 5e.
entire roster.
I might have to change that on some things. I might have to go in and doctor some things there because it
We
doesn't.
also don't have a healer, Jeremy.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. But listen to Spectre's immunities. Immune to charm, exhaustion, grapple, paralysis, petrify, poison, prone, restrained, immune to being unconscious, but not immune to stun. That just sounds like it's just forgotten.
Written
It's just
as
the forgotten
designed.
thing. So, anyways, you absolutely
Two
stun.
things in the whole game that do
Or-
stun. It's like this and power word stun.
Power word stun. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're right. It's just, it goes through that weird, like, this isn't me complaining or bitching or anything like that. I just think it's, like, super interesting. It's kind of like the scenario that happens with immunities, right? Like, they make a lot of, like, like, they have all of these different elements, but when it comes down to it, vulnerabilities and immunities are actually really rare, right? So, anyways, so Constitution saving throw is a 6. Spectre's stunned.
Okay. I'm then going to sheath my katana again. I'm not actually sheathing it, but like just for flavor.
Yeah. Get him.
And then I'm just gonna go in a barrage of punches into him.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Get that bitch.
So I have an advantage now because he's stunned, correct?
Absolutely. Yep. Okay, 23 definitely hits. Is that the... roll damage? Okay,
I was
so...
rolling both at the same time.
Gotcha. Well, with the first punch, right? The whole specter kind of like shimmers after you slice through it with the katana, and then there's this moment like you just punch into it, and the whole thing kind of like this space opens around your fist, and then the whole thing dissipates with this screech.
Oh. Oh shit.
Farewell.
It just and it's gone.
Okay. Sure. Cool. Alright.
Specters aren't
Then
especially
I'm gonna
tough
stand over here.
creatures. They're super deadly for something like a 1st or 2nd level party that doesn't have magic weapons, but as soon as you have access to something, they're chump change.
Okay. I'm gonna roll a new unarmed strike.
Sure.
against this,
Against
sword.
the pot.
Yeah.
I wish they did a little bit more effort when it comes to tokens, right? Like, how hard would it
object.
have been for them to be like, here's a pot instead of a sword? So interestingly, these flying, because you don't have advantage for any reason, do you?
Oh no, I do not. Sorry.
Okay, so these flying pots are actually pretty hard to get a handle on. They're zooming around, clattering, and they're kind of erratic in their movements. You just barely connect with it.
Shit. Well, that pot takes 8 damage then.
It does. So you smack the pot, but again, you're smacking like this old rusted metal pot. So you kind of like dung the pot, and the pot just keeps zooming around. So
Oh, yeah, take that damage, Pop.
that is the end of your turn, and then the badger Wolf is up.
Wolf.
The badger wolf charges and bites.
So Wolf rushes over, does his best. We'll see what that best is.
It is nigh impossible for him to hit, but
Hey, he already
He's
double
gonna
crit
try-
once.
A 20 will hit.
hold up. Fucking apparently closed the badger sheet.
Gotcha.
Badger strike.
Does he have advantage?
He does. Oh, he can't flank.
Yeah, he
Shit.
can't have flank. So he's just unable quite to get a bead on this pot
Yeah,
that's
it's
zooming
three
around.
20s with him.
Yep. So, anything else for Wolf?
He wants to flurry of badger.
Flurry of Badger. Gotcha. So he bristles,
claws.
he growls, and then this is going to be a flying pot coming down. So the flying pot is not super intelligent. So they're basically just going to fly at the nearest target. Has 2 targets in range, so he is going to roll randomly. Matashtai is a 1. Ezrah is a 2. As a 1, Matashtai, he's going to swing at you, and there is another one, so he does get advantage. So we're gonna have again a little bit of work could have gone into this, and we could have just changed it from a longsword attack, which is what it's listed as,
Damn, just
to
barely got it.
like a bash or something like that. Okay, so all right, so he gets you, and basically he just slams on you with it on your shoulder or something like that for 3 damage. Come on and slam. And then there is going to be another one. This one is going to fly at the closest person. They are not smart enough to... when they have flanking, they take advantage of it, but they're not smart enough to try to do it because they have 1 intelligence. So this flying pot just flies at Ashes and smashes for an 18. Sorry.
18 meets it.
Meets it.
Smashes.
7.
I've been pot smashed.
Smash that boy. All right, and then Ezra, you're up. There's flying pots all over the place.
Oh boy, I do a quick motion with my staff as I shoot out 4 beads of
Ooh.
magic
Okay.
at each, and this is me casting it. It's not
Sure.
the one. As that happens, there is a pulse of energy,
Okay.
and the 2 swords that are close to me take an additional 3 damage.
So where are your magic missiles going?
I do 1, 2, 3, 4, so that would be 2 damage to the bottom,
Oh, okay. So you're hitting each one. Gotcha.
2 damage to the bottom, 3 damage to the top.
Okay.
2 damage to the one bottom of Ashes, and 2 damage to the one to the left of Ashes, and then an additional 3 damage to the 2 right next to me.
Gotcha.
And as I'm doing this, there is a flurry of wind as I step away from combat.
Gotcha. Fantastic. Okay, so if that is the end of your turn, Bones, you're up. You have inspected the door, right? And your inspection of the door has led to this just barrage of events that has immediately happened. And now you are surrounded by flying pots. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna disengage.
Okay.
5,
Bonus action
15,
disengage.
30.
Rush around.
Are they like floating? Are they eye level?
Yeah, they're hovering about eye or chest level.
Okay, so they're not like trying. Okay, I'm gonna draw my double bladed,
Okay.
and I'm gonna scimitar him a question.
Scimitar him a question. Scimitar. Oh yeah, easy peasy. Yeah, so you connect with it and you shear all the way through like this old, dusty, rusty pot. Just shear right through it, and the thing kind of like hovers there as 2 pieces. And for a second, it looks like you've made this more dangerous implement because now it's like these two sharp, jagged pieces of pot, right? And then
What
they
have I
just like
done?
they do the Acme like anvil hanging in the air, and then they crash down to the ground.
All right. Well, that's all I can do. Done
Okay.
everything.
Sounds good. Well, that is
Turnover.
one pot. So this pot is going to swing at one of the two nearest creatures. One is Badger, two is Matashtai. Swings at Badger. Or swings at Wolf. Badger. Badger, 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 Badger.
No, you leave Badger alone. No, Badger's dead.
Pot comes down on Badger. Badger goes poof. Goodbye,
Nope.
Badger.
Dead.
Just
I
poof.
can't believe you killed Badger.
Just poofs out of existence. Okay, and
Whatever,
then
he
we
still got
have
a hit.
Badger,
next
bro.
one. This one is just gonna swing at Ashes because Ashes is the closest thing. It's a 13, so that's a miss. Ashes, you're up.
All right, I will make it's not gonna matter because I'm gonna hit the same creature anyways. But this is my wisdom save,
Sure.
so I win.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna turn to the pot. I'm gonna swing.
Yeah, that's a hit.
And I'll
They are not weak.
7 and nothing.
Okay. So
That'll be in
7,
turn.
and yeah, you whiff with the second blow. So we are back to Matashtai. Matashtai, you find yourself surrounded by flying pots. One has just smashed Wolf Badger, and Wolf Badger has dissipated. What would you like to do?
I crouch down and power up for my ultimate move. Gust of Wind Dance.
Gust of Wind Dance.
Just kidding. I don't... No, I just
That's
I
This
just
is
I
a Regroup
slash
reference.
I'll just slash a boy.
Slash a boy. You slashing Southern Boy?
The one I slashed last time, so I
Yeah,
think
Southern Boy.
yeah.
Yep. Okay, so 19 definitely hits. Go and roll damage.
God damn it! Discord pop-ups are blocking things.
Yep, that
14
is
damage.
that is definitely enough to cut through this old metal pot. So it is now dead.
And then one in fluid motion, I spin around, slashing at the other pot.
Heck yeah, do it up. That's a hit, sure. Another 5 damage, yeah. So you fluid motions just hack, right, cutting down each of them. This one, the one to the north, is still flying, but it's kind of like
I then bicycle kick the pot up towards the ceiling.
okay.
I do not do that actually.
You do not. I mean, you try. you get close, but not quite. Okay, so let me remove that sword. Is that the end of your turn? I'm assuming yes.
Yeah,
so pot is going to. It's gonna try to bicycle kick you up towards the ceiling.
The pot's bicycle kicking.
It
Hell
it,
yeah.
it is unsuccessful. So Ezra, your turn. Look, the pot wanted to be creative too.
I'm real sad the pot was not successful.
I'm really sad as well.
Ezra is going to go ahead and do the same old song and dance with a purple dripping failure.
Purple dripping failure. Hey, you didn't confirm. That's good. All right, so so you reach out trying to slash with a spectral claw, but are unable to actually make contact. Bones, you're up.
Alrighty, I will. 5, 15, 20, 25, 30, and. With I don't think either of those hit, but if they did, I will snake attack and turnover.
Nope, neither of those hit actually. Oh, yeah, no, neither of those hit actually. These things are
Yeah, I
dodgy
think
little
it's like
bastards.
fucking 18, right? They're tiny.
They have
They're-
17 AC. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they're darting all over the place. All right, so that means this one is going to try to fly at Ashes. 14?
Alright.
Nope. I had good
Miss.
luck in the first couple of attacks, but now I'm hitting nothing. Ashes, you're up. It tries to take a swap at you, tries to bonk you on your head, but you're easily
I'm not
able to knock
having
it
it.
aside.
I'm not having it. He's about to have it
He's got it.
with a big old.
All right, that's another pot down.
All right, then I'm gonna run over here.
Yep.
Swing at this one.
Swing, bada bada bada.
Say no. Oh, no,
That's a
not.
miss.
Nope.
Nope.
Mhm.
All
That'll
right.
be his turn.
This goddamn sword is a god.
Pot.
Matashtai, you're up. Yeah, well,
The
whatever.
pot.
Sword
It's
pot,
a-
pot
it's a
sword.
pot in the shape of a sword.
I crutch into
Damn,
it.
shall we try
It's
and
li-
befriend it?
It's like the comic. Does anyone else read the Swords comics
Yeah, I
or
read
see
some of
them? Like they're pretty awesome.
All right, crutch down into power draw stance again.
Power draw
Draw on the
stance. That's a hit. Just barely a hit. You have advantage actually
Oh,
if you want to try to roll
Good.
for a crit.
Finger.
It doesn't matter. You
It's
slice
dead.
it out of the air. The 11 damage more than enough to put it down, and a few moments pass, and the battle is over. No other animated objects or weird ghosties come out of the woodwork in order to mess with you. Everyone gains 150 experience for the Wizard's Kitchen.
Wizards.
150.
I sheath my katana with a satisfying clink as it enters the scabbard.
One
Has-
of the parts of the flying pot near you, right? Like kind of like
Quivers.
tilts. Yeah, it quivers on the floor next to you, right? And then just stops.
As this ends, Ezra draws energy from the Hasnarketa and casts Detect Magic on himself.
Have at it, yeah. Okay. So detect magic comes down, and you begin to kind of like scan around the room. It's a 30-foot reach, right? So you aren't quite able to get all far reaches of the room.
After I get a pulse,
Sure,
because
sure.
I'm concentrating on it,
Yeah,
I would slowly then start stepping into
You
the
start
room.
moving. So you start to move in, and there are fate traces all around this room, but it's like none of them are fleshed out traces of magic. This whole area kind of has this, I
Residual.
think, residual or a memory of magic being done here, right? So there's this kind of like tang in the air of the arcane while you have the spell up, but nothing super specific, nothing that's actually currently radiating magic aside from you and your friends.
This door?
The door either. Nope, nothing on the door.
I turn to Bones. Did you get a chance to look at the door? Because I can kind of.
Yes,
That's
Bones, you did get a chance to look at the door. You did not
No, I
find.
didn't. The thing.
Oh,
came
oh,
out
sorry.
Screaming? What do you mean?
Sorry. Do you want to roll a perception on it, or are you going to use your passive?
No, I'm fine with the passive.
Then I was going to roll with your passive and say
I'm
you
really just being dramatic. If I'm
you
being
didn't
honest with
notice anything untoward about the door except for this sign on it saying that it's Calabash's room and no one is to enter unless their name is
Calabash.
Halaster.
Fuck you, Calabash. I'll enter if I want.
Okay.
I'll put on my Halaster mask.
Okay, sure. So,
I'm joking. I'll fucking do that.
what would you guys like to do now?
Ezra's going to take a step back and say, "Yeah, go ahead and try and open the door."
Dang,
I
cats.
mean,
You just knocked over your scratching post.
we just triggered the trap, so
Being bad.
I miss Badger already.
I mean, you could try to bring him back.
I'm gonna try and bring him back. Use my third one of the day.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d8 for me.
And another
Oh! Life
Five.
is pain!
Life is pain. That's funny.
Please be something that can fight.
5.
A giant elk can fight.
So, what did you say originally? What were you going for originally?
Oh, I wanted something stealthy and combative.
Like a panther or
Like a panther is what you said?
Yeah, like a panther would be real dope.
Gotcha.
It's a small.
Is it a
ginger
panther?
Like a panther. Absolutely. Yeah. So
Hell yeah.
so the small bundle of fur lands on the ground and scrabbles for a second and does the whole like a cat being thrown, right? Where it lands and then it skids and it kind of like it writhes its body as if it's like unsure of its musculature, right? And then it looks up at you and it hisses, right? It opens its mouth and it kind of does this. And then telepathically, you feel Wolf's voice where it just says, "I hate this form."
Worse than Badger?
Well, how
'Cause
do I
wolf
bring
is
you
his-
out? How do I bring you out in your preferred form?
Ugh. It's fine. At least I can work with this.
Okay, okay.
Panther,
Is the
Panther.
wolf form number 1?
On the list, no.
Yeah.
Wolf is
Okay.
number 7.
I think I think Rat was 1.
Oh yeah. Rat was 1.
Nope, not 1. Rat's number
No?
2.
Probably like
Oh,
a
God, is it
fly
like a
for
spoder?
number 1.
So Wolf Wolf is just being dramatic. They don't
Okay.
actually care about this form in any capacity other than the fact that they care that they are magically bound to an object and forced to take random forms, period, right?
What if wolf is actually like a doppelganger or like a shape changer or something like that? And the magic that can like is sealed makes it be the thing.
Who knows?
I want to set it free. I want to set it free like Genie and
Make that a part of your plan. Figure it out.
all right.
Okay.
I'm ready. Let's open this door.
Cats, Odie. Nice. Don't attack Lippo. Too aggressive. Lippo. Stop taunting him.
Man up.
Lippo, slap him in the face.
She's like this big compared to him being like this big. But she fucking eggs him on. Like she'll get into a high place and she'll like swish her tail and like look at him and taunt him, like turn her head at him, you know? Like rude. Okie dokie. So, opening the door. Who's opening the door?
I
I
am.
will open the door.
Yeah.
I will now have
All three of
Three
us at the
hands
same
for
time.
All of
Opening the
you
door.
begin to
All
open
opening
the
the
door together,
Ezra
and
will not be involved in this.
Ezra's skeleton hand first and foremost.
No, because I'm concentrating on detect magic right now.
And so, what you see
Second.
inside,
Foremost.
right? Within this room stands a dusty bed with its headboard against the north wall. At the foot of the bed rests a wooden chest. There is a desk in the southeast corner with stacks of musty old tomes atop it. There's an old rug woven with arcane symbols in the middle of the room along on the floor.
One more time. So there's a bed.
So there's a bed along the
There's-
north wall, right? At the
Mhm.
foot of the bed rests a wooden chest.
Okay.
There's a desk at the southeast corner with stacks of musty old tomes. And then in the center of the room, right, is a rug with arcane symbols woven into it.
Okay. I'm gonna approach the desk.
Parson Arbetta.
Okay.
I've moved up, so if anything's within my 30 feet, I should be feeling.
Sure. So as you move up, you're probably need to go into the room a little bit to really actually get the full effect. Okay. So a couple things. So Matashtai is going towards the desk with the tomes. Ezrah is scanning for magic. What are Bones and Ashes doing?
Keeping an eye on anything that might like pop out
Yeah,
of
we're on
something.
high alert.
Yeah,
High alert.
Ghost
We,
patrol.
we shouldn't
Weapons
touch
rolling.
anything until I've done my due diligence.
I'm
Yeah.
Ghost
gonna
patrol.
have to yell at my cats, y'all. Y'all gonna break
Yeah.
something. Quit it. Why y'all so zoomy tonight? Odie boy, come here. Why you so zoomy tonight? What's up? Oh, no. You pay attention to me, not her. Come here. Why you so zoomy? He not gonna pay
Because he
attention. I'm just
slept
gonna
all
have to
day.
let
What
them
you
zoom.
mean?
They're just gonna have to zoom. Alright, so, things that happen. Matashtai, you approach this desk and begin to look at the musty old tomes. While that is happening, Ezra, you detect magic. In the
Everybody
center-
stop!
In the center of the room,
I've stopped.
under the rug.
That's the only magic.
That's the only magic that you currently detect.
outside of what he's familiar with us all having.
Yes.
I point at the rug and say, I think it's under?
You know what? From where I'm standing, I'm gonna just grab my little grappling hook and just throw it at the carpet till it catches it and just pull the rug away.
Okay. There's not too much difficulty in doing that. Does everyone else like hold their positions until this is done, or
Yes.
does anyone keep moving around? No. Okay.
We hold.
So as you hold,
Hold.
right, you pull, like Ashes throws out the hook and kind of pulls the rug aside, and it's kind of like this tense moment as you're waiting for the rug to fully move aside, and revealed underneath the rug is a circle of arcane sigils.
Rotation circle. Disintegration circle.
Healing circle.
Do I recognize any of the symbols? I would, as the rug is cleared and nothing happens,
You can roll me an Arcana check.
Ezra would start stepping forward and.
You can roll me an Arcana check.
God fucking damn it.
So you,
Hurts, boys. This hurts.
yeah, you're able to pick out certain parts of it, right? Like some basic concepts of it. It's some sort of seal.
And with detect magic, I can determine the school of magic too.
So here's what the issue is, right? So as you begin to inspect it and you try to focus your magic, your detect magic on it, you realize that one, you only know a little bit about what this is. It is some sort of seal, right? But two, it is broken. There is a portion of it that has been cleared away, that is missing, right? And because of that, right, because of the scenario there, you're not actually able to gather more information with your detect magic spell because the magic isn't fully active. It's just like a remnant. It's enough for you to notice it, but not enough for you to like analyze it.
Does it look like there's anything like shifting of wood, like there might be a compartment underneath the symbol or anything of that nature?
Nothing that stands out as potentially obvious.
Does the smudge or
It's not just like a little smudge, it's like a whole quarter of a section that's like missing.
does it look like it was someone that like wiped their hand across it, or does it look intended? Like what?
Yeah, it looks gone completely. Like you have like 3/4 of a circle of arcane seals, and then that third quarter or the fourth quarter is just gone. It's not even like smudged or smeared or broken. It's just gone. Yeah.
That seems interesting, boys. Tomes seem fine. Nothing by the bed seems.
So
magical.
yeah, we're at this point, you're close enough. You're in the room far enough that nothing else is really pinging as overtly magical. Like there are, like the kitchen, there are remnants, there are traces of magic throughout this whole place. Like it's obviously the quarters of someone who spent a lot of time with magic, right? It has that kind of like the after effects of magic being permeated through the area, but there's nothing overtly pinging. There's no active magic currently. So that moment passes, right, where Ezrah kind of like calls out to you all, and then the rug is removed, and Ezra's trying to figure out what's going on. And then it's basically like okay, potential danger might have passed, right? Now, what does everyone want to get back into doing? Matashtai, you had been heading towards the desk with the dusty tomes. Do you want to continue on your way towards that?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of check out what's in this desk. Has got any secret
So
apartments?
while Ezra's like making his last couple like looks over everything, but the situation seems to have calmed, you begin to kind of leaf through, and these things are old. Like they're seriously old, ancient, to the point to where some of the books, when you touch them or move them, they kind of just disintegrate, right? They just fall to pieces at the slightest touch. But there are others that are more intact, that have weathered a little bit better. So you can look through those, and as you kind of like look through those and look through the desk itself for drawers or compartments, you gather together maybe a small handful of tomes and pieces of parchment out of the drawers of the desk, right? To maybe kind of piece together information. Because I'm assuming like you're like taking a cursory look at them while you're gathering them up, right? So you find a couple of notes that seem to have been written by this Calabash person. They are notes primarily about they seem to be intended about like research information, but they don't have a lot of pertinent info in them. A lot of it seems to be like Calabash complaining about not having enough resources or not having enough money to do something, right? There's a bit of discussion with some of the information that you find about some great research that he was trying to undertake. Research about the shadow. Okay? But there's not a whole lot of pertinent, like there's mention, right? But there's nothing that's like, this is my log of notes on the shadow or the Shadowfell or anything like that, right? It's just snippets here or there that kind of like tease towards the information. And another thing that you take note of is there's a lot of complaining about the relationship between Calabash and Halaster. From some of the things that get said in the notes, it doesn't make it out to seem as though Calabash liked Halaster overly much.
Okay. Okay. Does anyone else want to check anything else?
Did you find any hidden?
No,
doors
he didn't
or-
find any hidden trapdoors or secret levers or knobs or anything like that as far as the desk was concerned.
I'm sorry. What did we find out about the magic circle? And
It's
what-
incomplete. There are 4 corners to it, and one corner is just gone. Is either was never inset or
Okay.
triggered. And,
Right.
but the desk, it sounds like, has just cursory recognized knowledge saying this is what he was studying, the shadow, which we already kind of.
I will say there are a number of books that you find. The books that are in the best condition that are still on the desk, there are a number of them. The ones that are in the best condition are actually not written in. They seem to be significantly newer than the other books, but they're all empty.
Cool.
Okay.
So I will say of note, at least Ezra would be aware of these. These are designed as spell books, right? They're just empty, but they are potentially worth some small amount of money if you were to take them and sell them.
I'm gonna just take a guess here. With these empty books, can I feel on them to see if there was maybe invisible ink quilled on them, maybe imperfections in
You
the
can roll me an
paper?
investigation check.
Hey, there's a good roll.
Absolutely. So you begin to kind of take a couple of these books that Matashtai points out as being empty, right, newer and empty, and kind of working off of this hunch, you begin to leaf through a couple of them, and sure enough, you feel just these faint traces of, well, you're not 100% sure, right? There is some sort of residue or something, and you have to be you feel yourself being cautious, right? Because you don't want to mess up or obscure
Yeah, it's
or
like
do anything
one
like
corner that I'm just kind of.
exactly, right? So there's and it's not with all of the books, but there's definitely a couple that seem to have something within them.
Okay. I would recommend likely. It seems like these might have something that we can't see. We might need some aid to ascertain the information that might be in these. But we definitely should take these, and these might be what we're looking for.
Sure. So I will
make
tell you
sure.
there are 3 of these that you can easily identify as having something in them, and then there are still another 7 that appear to be empty to you.
And those are in good condition.
Yeah, that are in good condition and you could potentially sell. And there are a handful of other ones, right? That, like I said, those were the ones that I was kind of like describing to Matashtai as the ones that he was reading stuff out of. Most of those are in really poor condition.
Aged.
Yeah, very aged.
No real content in the books, or is it
No
something
real
that
content.
potentially
Like,
that could
most
be-
of them are destroyed, and there's only a couple remnants left here
I
or
mean,
there.
If only there was a spell to repair things.
Well, you can repair certain things, but you can't completely restore.
Mage doesn't redo the
Exactly.
ink.
Right? So, like,
Recommended.
100%. So there are small notes here or there, like I said, but these don't seem. It seems like any information that was worthwhile, Calabash
Was likely
probably
put in.
hid or encoded.
I would ask the group if anyone would be willing to store these 10 books in
Yeah,
the
I'll grab 'em.
bag or something. Sure.
I'll just.
I
hold on
would.
to it.
I would flag in my mind which 3 are the 3 that we
Sure.
need,
So you can, whoever takes them can separate. There are 3 Calabash journals and then 7 blank spellbooks.
Okay.
So the only other thing that you guys haven't looked into, aside from so there's the magic circle and then there's the desk, there is still the bed with the chest at the foot of the bed. And actually, Ashes is the one who is closest to this, and I'll say Bones and Ashes kind of notice this as they're kind of keeping watch over the whole thing. There's a chain coming out of the side of the chest.
Is it facing towards us or away from us?
It is facing away from you. It is curled
That means it's safe.
away from you.
If this were Dark Souls.
How much do each of
Yep,
these
yep, that
books
means it's
weigh?
safe. We can open it.
Each of the books weighs...
Just so I can get that right.
We'll check.
A pound.
Wow. Jesus. No, apparently books weigh 5 pounds apiece.
All right, you got him.
That seems heavy for a book.
That does seem heavy for a
I
book.
feel like
but-
these are like textbooks or something like that. Holy crap.
you spread them
Yay,
at home.
textbooks!
Holy crap. So,
Let's go check out that chest.
All right.
legitimately, there is a chain out of the side of it, and it is curled and pointed away from you.
Where does the
Read.
chain go?
It's just laying on the side of on the ground aside from the chest.
Weird.
I'm going to poke the chest with my spear.
You hear wood touch wood, and there's a little bit of a knocking sound.
Touch it with your human hand. Ezra, touch it with your bone hand.
Oh yeah, bone hand.
Bone
No,
hand.
look. In Dark Souls, if the chain's facing away, it's a regular chest.
Yeah, we know. We already made this joke, Jay.
Yeah,
Yep.
we made that joke 3 times.
Yep.
Sorry, I was pooping.
that was like 30 minutes ago.
You were sitting right here.
Yeah, you were.
Were we? Was I?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was literally
Because
like
the
less than 5
majority of
minutes.
the time we were in this room, I was away.
Away.
Okay,
So-
well,
I'm gonna open it. Plug it.
Okay. So
I just
you
don't want to touch it.
you walk over
I
to
don't
it.
really want to touch it either, but
But I want the stuff inside, probably.
Sure.
What's the problem?
You go to open it, and it is locked. There's some sort of mechanism on the side of it that is preventing it from being opened. A small steel
calling-
section that looks like it would take a key.
I call in the Master Rogue.
Okay.
Jill, the master of unlocking.
So you call in the Master Rogue. Rogue, you're heading over to it.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm
As
sorry, I was
Ezra.
trash.
As Bones begins to fiddle with this chest,
Mhm.
how long does your detect magic last?
10 minutes.
You still have time. As Bones begins to fiddle with this chest, something something holds or something that had been latent in the chest activates, and you feel magic. You feel magic come alive and blossom on the chest.
I jump away
Um,
from the
Jump,
chest.
jump, jump!
It hasn't triggered, but there's
Jump.
definitely some sort of magic that had been dormant, had been kind of like beyond your detection, and now that it is being fiddled with, has gone into awakened mode.
It's on the radar.
Yeah, it's on the radar now. And it is let me double check real quick.
Evocation.
Enchantment.
Necromancy.
illusion.
No, it is evocation.
Shocker.
Also, now that I'm thinking about it, when I look at the some of the notes that I have on this, so you do know this. So going back to the arcane seal, real quick, you do understand that it is abjuration magic primarily. There are a couple of different things going on, but the primary thing is abjuration.
And so all of this, like, do I detect each seal as abjuration, or just the entire thing is abjuration?
The entire thing is abjuration. There are a couple of different other things that are less active involved, but abjuration is the most prominent feature as far as the magic concerned. So, Bones is at this chest. Ezrah has detected the magic there. What would you all like to do now?
I dove away when he said to dove away, and then it didn't happen. I went back.
The Bones is now away from the chest.
If nothing triggered, so I've got this ability to detect for a couple more minutes. I can drop it and use my mage hand to trigger whatever that is. Do we think that's a good idea, or is it better for me to be able to maintain awareness of this?
Why don't I just try and not trip it?
You know what? We could tie a rope around Bones, and
I would recommend the magic that is on it is damaging in nature. So it could be a explosion, or a shock of lightning, or a burst of cold. It could be a poison cloud. It could be an
Ashes,
acid spray. It could be.
Me out of the room.
the second I hear a click, I'm just gonna fucking take my hempen rope and just.
Okay, so you
Ezra
guys,
just keeps listing off all the various types of.
while this
magic
is
that
happening, Ashes ties a rope around Bones, and Bones, you're gonna go give it a try.
And then I would recommend all of us, aside from Bones, step out of the
Okay.
room.
Bones, you're basically up here at the foot of the bed, working on the chest. So Bones, if you're gonna be trying to unlock this chest, I need you to roll a.
I put on my Yanlin goggle.
Okay. I need you to roll a Thieves' Tools check. Your DC
Alright.
15.
Thieves' Tools! 18.
Okay. You are able to successfully navigate and pick this lock. And the entire time, right, Ezra, you're kind of like, you're able to follow the magic. The magic...
I mean, I stepped entirely out of the room.
Oh,
and
okay,
have
well
10
then never
feet
mind,
of
Ezra.
walk.
Ezra is not able to follow the magic. I take it back. So there's this. So what's the trigger for pulling Bones?
Like the second I hear the chest unlock.
Okay,
Like
so
it
you
does a-
hear a click, and the chest goes, and Bones, you just get ripcorded across the fucking room, right?
God damn!
Just
I had it.
vroom, just pulled across, hit the ground, just drug all over the place, and the lid of the chest goes.
Oh,
And
right.
nothing happens.
Sorry.
Apparently,
Stand up, after I say, God damn, I had it, I throw my hand up for high fives.
Oh,
apparently the scenario itself only activates if you are unsuccessful in bypassing the locking mechanism.
Oh.
Interesting.
Because
You're
if you're
too damn good to set off traps.
if you're successful in bypacking the locking mechanism, the trap assumes that you're using the proper key.
As the high five happens, Ezra kind of pokes his head in. Good job. And then
And then clicks
Yep,
his skeletal hands together.
clink.
Great minds right
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Excellent.
Okay.
Smithers, open the chest.
So, within
Oh,
the
if this was Divinity 2, we could have just had Ezra.
use
Bony
the
finger.
use the finger bones, yeah, for lockpicks.
Mm-hmm.
So assuming that afterwards, right, you guys go and actually inspect the chest, you can open it up, and the chest is empty.
Do I feel the latent magic still?
It's gone dormant again. Now that you're aware of it, right, you can kind of pick it out a little more easily, but it's no longer active. It's no longer waiting to unleash. Right? The chest is empty except for a note laid into the bottom of the bare chest. Upon it, written in common, is the following message. Retirement fund. Don't spend this on ale, Calabash.
He spent
Wait.
it on ale?
It just says retirement fund, and there's nothing else in the chest. Well, it seems like Calabash spent it all on ale.
You might be correct. Or some
Is there like a
other
false bottom?
clever band of adventurers came in here first and did what you guys did, were able to bypass it, and then take what remained.
I just like to see the exact same scenario. Instead, it's like a centaur ripping a goblin away with a rope.
Sure. Would you like to check for a false bottom or something like that, Bones? Are you suspicious?
I'm suspicious.
Go ahead and roll a investigation for me.
False top too. False everything.
False everything.
We could
Absolutely.
just shatter the fucking box.
Get that once over. Start
Fitting.
pulling apart. Gotcha. Okay. No, it doesn't seem like there is any sort of false bottom or hidden mechanism or anything like that.
Damn, who would have thought that a note wouldn't keep people out?
Well, look. Please don't rob me.
Don't rob me, bro.
So, you guys have inspected the desk
well.
and found some potentially hidden information, and maybe useful sellable goods. You found a incomplete magic circle, and you found a mysteriously trapped empty chest.
All right, we did it.
All right. I guess we're gonna keep going.
Okay.
Let's leave.
You guys are leaving this area. Good.
Back to Gobo Town, I guess, right?
All right. Is that where you guys would like to go?
Well, to the right leads to a dead end, as I recall.
There
Well,
is
there's that
one.
chute, but I'm not going down that chute. I'm telling
Okay.
you right now.
Gotcha. That's fine by me.
Send the damn panther down the chute.
Not a bad idea.
Forgot I was muted. Panther, Wolf, and I are traveling on.
Panther Wolf.
As we do, I ask him how long he has been imprisoned in the bag. Or they. How long they have been imprisoned.
So Wolf talks to you very, like, impassively as you all are walking. It says... I'm not quite sure what the answer to your question. My time isn't the same here compared to where I'm from.
Time? Question mark.
Okay.
It has been It has been a very long time. The shifting of the seasons. Ooh, hold up. Hold up. Before we go crazy.
Hold up.
Hold up. Before everyone gets to the Goblin Market, we're gonna have to do something.
50,000?
But while this, so let me finish this, and we'll do the prior to the Goblin Market stuff. So basically, what Wolf tells you is he says that there was a time, or he remembers a time in this world, right? Where the city of Waterdeep did not exist.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's a long time.
He says that before the city was raised, before the city grew here, but after, right, after the time of the elves and the dwarves, that is when he was first bound.
Who bound him?
He looks at you and he says, it's a little cagey. She was very important.
A lover?
Upon it. But she
Why'd she do it?
was driven, ambitious. She had goals. And then I died.
So you're not alive?
Not entirely sure what happened. She was always very talented in divining nature. She had a way about, I don't know that didn't die. I don't know that Wolf kind of, so this is all mental, and you don't have like facial features to really work with here. There's kind of this somber tone, and Wolf says, I'm not entirely sure that I am who I think. Jazira was powerful enough for me to just be a remnant.
If I were to free you, how would I do that?
I have no.
Well, I think in exchange for helping us on our adventures, I will see what I can find. We'll see if we can get you out of there.
There's just this strange pause, right? Because again, Wolf doesn't know if they're actually like a real boy, right, or not. So there's this like, obviously there's this inner turmoil, this existential doubt there, right? But Wolf just kind of, after a pause, quietly says, "Okay."
Okay.
All right, good, good.
All right. So, prior to making it to the Goblin Market, I need Bones to roll me a 1d6. Where's my people? There they are.
2. I rolled it.
You got a 2?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. I gotta replace some people real quick. Some people are gonna get kicked out of the good quarters because we need more
So why are we going back
bodies.
to the goblin again?
You guys are
Gotta
going
get
through the Goblin Market. You're not.
Get to anywhere where we want to actually go.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna say that there is probably like a new little place drawn up.
Wow.
Take.
Yeah, we really did kind of zigzag very oddly through the.
We had Mad Boy with us.
Yeah,
He was so mad.
Boy.
The
Yeah.
I was
whole
real
time.
angry.
He's not a happy camper.
Press F to pay respects.
F. Press-
All right. So, you rolled a 2. Okay.
Yeah.
That
Both.
means that Pibble and Groin did not have a random encounter.
That's probably positive.
Yeah, so keep that in mind, right? As you check in with them or you have potential encounters with them, I'm gonna have you roll to see what might have happened in the meantime with them. And if you want to, this is a route you can go, not something you have to worry about right now, but if this becomes a fleshed out partnership that you enjoy taking part in, you could potentially look to outfit them or augment them or do things for them to enhance their
Train them.
chances in
Yes, I would like them to
surviving.
become cyborg.
So a 2 means that they have gone unhindered in their interactions. So you guys could go ahead and continue into the Goblin Market at this point.
Into the Goblin Market.
Into the Goblin Market.
Market.
Into the Goblin Market, into the Goblin Market, into the
Down,
Goblin
down,
Market, into the
goblin.
Goblin Market. So, you don't see Pibble and Groin down south, but I will say that you guys are kind of becoming known in this area, so one of the goblins will notify you that Pibble and Groin have set up a depot or tent to the north of the market. Now you can
Up near
inspect
the
that.
statue, or
Yeah, up towards the throne. Actually, it's just to the north side. It's basically like right out of your eye shot. You're just beyond reach of it. So,
All right.
okay, I'm gonna check in with them real fast, guys. Just real fast.
okay. So everyone else kind of heads down or preps up and gets ready while Bones stops in. And Bones, you
Damn, they
can
got
see.
boys.
Yeah, you see a little like a little stall kind of set up. It's a couple of tent poles with some canvas draped over it. There's a couple of boxes in here. There are some bones that are kind of like set up to one side. And there's a small posse of goblins that are kind of cleaning utensils, and they look like they've just gotten back. They look like they're trying to unpack from a recent excursion. And Pibble and Groin see you, right? And they come over and they start chatting you up, and they let you know that they've been following your carvings, and they found the undead beholder corpse,
Yeah.
right?
The big skull.
Yeah. And they did a fair amount of butchering it. They've got so you actually see they split the lower jaw in two, so it's got like two jaw lines, right? But they let you know that they didn't get a whole lot of like really good stuff because it was kind of mushy and decayed. But they let you know that they're basically they're doing the bones work, right? They're interested in the partnership. They don't talk to you about this, but you see a lot of what the other 3 goblins are unpacking are humanoid skulls.
Yeah, that's fair.
So they have very clearly
I
like
expected that.
they have butchered the bodies that you left behind and taken their skulls, right? But Pibble and Groin, they tell you that they're looking forward to more business ventures in the future, and they'll keep following your markings and playing them.
All right, cool. Yeah, good to know you guys got out. You know, we cleared everything to the west. There's nothing over there. So.
Okay.
Anyway.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Groin kind of, or Pibble kind of stops paying half attention and goes and you can see Pibble kind of like enjoys lording over the other 2 because Pibble is kind of the dumber one in the Pibble and Groin kind of duo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Pibble lets Groin handle more of the business and likes to be the overseer of the other 3. So he starts to go and shout at them while they're doing stuff, and they seem sufficiently cowed by him.
Did you guys find anything good? Any secret passages? Anything I should be aware of?
No, they haven't found anything super crazy.
All right,
but they'll
cool.
keep an eye out.
All right, keep up the good work, boys.
No.
Bye.
So
Hey, bye.
as you leave, Pibble starts shouting at Salt to pick up the pace, to quit being such a slacker, and he tells Peppa that he did a good job.
Yes, Salt.
That
Shout
better
out
not be
my
a Chrono Cross reference.
The third one kind of like screeches that he didn't get any praise or criticism or anything like that, and Pibble tells Catsup to shut up. It's absolutely a
Catsup,
Chrono
Salt,
Cross
and Peppa.
reference. So
That tracks. Okay, cool. All right, boys.
I gotta come up with other trio names because I'm pretty sure these 3 are gonna be the ones that get sacrificed when Pibble and Groin run into shit. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
All right, you guys head south down the tunnel of the living animated dwarf frescoes, right? Last time you guys passed through here, or one of the last times you guys had passed through here, the frescoes, they had seemed saddened, right? To know what you had gone through. This time they don't seem to have any reaction to you outside of their normal moving around, working, they're waving, those types of things. And then you come to the 4-way intersection. You know what lies eastward, or at least partially. You know some of what lies southwards. You know very little of what lies to the north. Where would you like to go?
Let's go
The
north,
north.
guys.
North, or we need to go super, super far south?
All right. So, immediately north, there are 2 different directions. One, the passageway continues northward, right? And again, here there are still the animated dwarven frescoes for a short length, about basically about to up where Ashes is, and then they stop. So there's the hall continues north, or there's a hall going eastward.
Zach, I'm gonna need you to get out of my panther.
I need you out of my panther.
Thank you.
Okay, so Bones, you begin to head down the hall going eastward, and you find it opens up into a... let's talk about it. This is...
Why are you off-centered?
Let's talk about it. It's Machine Gun Kelly. Every time I say let's talk about it, I immediately think of his song. So...
Mythical Morning.
So, in this room, you see, so this is in the middle of this vaulted room is a limestone altar topped with a misshapen mound of gold that looks like it was poured on the altar in molten form and left there until it cooled and hardened. All around you, all around the walls, all around everywhere, all around you, black mildew drips from lidless eyes and gaping mouths that have been carved into the walls.
Gross.
Point of inquiry, Jeremy. Has it been 10 minutes?
Yeah, by this point, from when you first cast it going into Calabash's room and then traveling all this way, it would have been 10 minutes by now.
Okay. Just confirming.
Yep, I feel you. So, worthy question. That being said, are you wanting to recast Detect Magic, or are you gonna let it lie?
I think at this point I've been too risky and am going to go ahead and pop my mage armor.
Okay, gotcha. Fair enough. I feel you. Detecting magic ain't gonna do you no good if you're dead.
Mhm.
Okay, so we got the fucking Melted Throne and fucking Horrorscape.
Yeah, Melted Throne and Horrorscape. And then you have a door to the northeast.
Alright. Poke
Does
at the
the mel-
Horrorscape with a 10-foot pole.
Poke at the Horrorscape with a 10-foot pole. So as you get close to the Horrorscape, you do see that there is an inscription just underneath the kind of molten gold statue or whatever it is, right? And you poke it. It pokes. Doesn't do anything. You poke it with your 10-foot pole. It doesn't do anything. Say
So
what?
you say there's an inscription?
There's an inscription. Yes. It is not in a language that you understand, Bones.
Do you know what languages I understand?
I know you don't understand this language. What languages
know?
do you understand? Let's go look.
Interesting.
Let's look at Bones. Bones.
Common, Draconic, Dwarven, and Primordial.
You do not understand this language.
Ezra, this is a language I don't understand. I'm gonna need you to look at it.
Ezra at this moment is staring at the pile of gold.
Damn, are you a greed boy?
Say what?
Oh, that was mine you pasted?
Yeah, I clicked yours because I was like, what does Ezra speak? Okay, so Ezra's you're looking at the pile of gold.
So it looks like a misshapen pile.
Yeah, it looks like someone
of-
melted down gold, right, and poured it out, and in the process of it pouring to this mass, it just froze solid.
What does the so it consists it looks hardened gold.
Yeah, and you saw Bones actually tap it with a 10-foot pole, and it
Oh, I missed
Yeah.
him tapping the gold.
yeah it taps.
Okay. All right.
Taps.
I turn and look at the inscription. Do I understand it?
Yes, you do. And
I swear to God, is this the one thing in D&D that's in Celestial?
no.
Thank God, dude. I only speak 2 languages now of the Abyss. One of them Celestial and has not come up in 2 years.
It reads. So I'm gonna read it in the actual tongue for all of you, and then I will tell the people who understand it what it actually means. So it reads: Darploshi, Jaki Avotna Dajeka, Moza Nakarnik, Nasvieshna Holav. And for I believe
Old Valyrian.
Ezra and Ashes doesn't understand it fully, right? But Ashes gets bits and pieces because they are sister languages, right?
It's Infernal Abyssal.
So, yep. It says, a gift of flesh, willingly given, can feed our eternal hunger.
Well, that's ominous.
a little bit, right? And all around you, right, as you're reading this, and you're like Ezra kind of like says it out loud, right? The open eyes and horrible maws just continue to drip this black mildew, right? But the black mildew, like as it goes to the ground, it just kind of like there's like a little rivulet of a crack down the side of the wall, but it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't pool anywhere. It just.
Now, does this seem like a metric shit ton of gold? Like,
It's a pretty big mass. It is large as a statue.
okay, so we're talking like
It's a 2x2.
hundreds of pounds worth of metal.
Unless that son of a bitch is hollow.
Why don't you go knock on it?
I'll go knock on it.
Okay. You go up or you're just gonna like open, doom, 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 doom.
See
Right.
if it sounds like a giant bell.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You walk up to it and you go, doom, doom, and your hand goes right in. And I need everyone to select their tokens and roll initiative.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
As
We've been in this fucking situation before.
as a gift of flesh, having willingly been given, awakens the massive creature that is this statue. So,
Jeremy's favorite. Oh boy, Matt and Ezra were definitely ready.
right?
Oh,
Absolutely.
you pull your hand back out, and it's just nothing but bones.
Be like,
So, what we're gonna do again, right, is we're gonna go to that
Hashtag bone
whether or not people get caught off guard. I'm going to assume that it is unlikely that you guys get caught off guard by this thing, but we'll see.
so when Bones
was
poked it with a stick, it acted like a solid.
Yep, it has to be flesh that touches it.
Got it.
Yep. So that is a 14.
Note to self, let's get some
Who
flesh,
has a
wrap it around the
passive
10-foot
perception
pole.
below 14? Passive perceptions below 14.
I don't. Mine's at
I mean,
14.
Okay,
I'm
so
18.
you're good at 14. Matashtai, what's yours?
My passive
Perception.
16.
Okay, so you're good. Ezra is surprised. Ezra,
I don't
is-
know.
So Ezra could have
Considering
tapped
all
on
the
it and
shit
nothing
we've
would have
been in,
happened.
this shouldn't be surprising to anybody at all.
sure, it shouldn't be surprising, but it's like it's a how quickly you
Yeah, I
react,
know, I
right?
know what
You
you
know.
mean.
So that's
gotcha.
otherwise then we don't use like passive perception or a monster's ability to stealth or anything like that. So starting at the top, I need to roll initiative for it real quick. So what happens when you touch it? Let's check and see real quick.
Oh, just a casual like 8d10 poison.
And it's tax. All right. So it immediately gets to make a pseudopod attack against you, Ashes. Pseudopod. Nope. It's a miss.
Nope.
All right. So we're at the top of the round. This thing, its form, right? It had been caught in this molten cascade, had been halted, and then suddenly it is released from this stasis as flesh touches it, and the whole thing just cascades in this crash of ochre jelly. So Bones, you're up first. What would you like to do?
Ochre jelly.
Yep.
Huh.
Occur.
Okay. 15, 16, 20, 25, 30.
Okay, so Bones launches into action, goes sprinting around the
I've
jelly.
run around it.
Okay, and what you doing?
I will cut it.
Okay, so you draw the double-bladed
You'll
scimitar. Is that
flip
your
it.
plan?
Yes.
All right, and you go for a swing.
I cut. Oh, I'm supposed to cut at advantage. Hold on.
You're supposed to cut at
that's, God damn it,
advantage.
that's the other side.
Okay.
Hold on.
What do you do?
I don't. Shit's happening. All right.
Okay,
It's a 23 for 9 damage.
you definitely
And I'm gonna
hit.
Snack attack
You definitely hit.
for
Right?
16 damage.
Your blade
And then it's 21 for
sinks
6
into the creature, right? And just stops. Like you carve into it, and then you pull it out. You pull your blade out, and the jelly reforms behind it. And it seems as if you did not harm it at all.
Well, that's real unfortunate.
And the
boys.
second part, right, as you slice through, this part of it like splorches out and falls off. And now there are 2 jellies.
Okay, well, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So I did 15 plus 31 damage total.
You did 0 damage.
Before his resistance and all that shit.
Yeah. Like it?
Turn over.
Gotcha. All right, sounds good.
'Cause that's all I can do.
Okay.
I gotta find another way to get another type of damage other than slashing, because there oozes all over this fucking dungeon.
Hammer.
Yep. All right.
Can
Ashes.
find a fucking
You watch as Bones rounds this, cuts through the jelly, and then it just splits apart and does not seem to have been harmed in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
All right, it's clear
short swords or slash thing.
that something's going to happen.
Oh, they're
Something
fierce.
other than slashing needs to happen. So, Ashes will grip his sword tightly and concentrate and cast Rite of the Frozen.
Okay.
So there's not like an icy
Gotcha.
icons, but I'll just use what I've been using for thunder.
Sure. I'm looking forward to Roll20 adding in the ability to add your own custom icons. That looks really cool. That sounds really cool. They're supposed to be doing that in the near future.
Okay, and I will step up and 2-hand swing. You know what? Hold on. Let's instead move over here to make sure
Sure.
I can get the hit in.
Give yourself some
So-
advantage.
Swing.
Absolutely. You hit. These are plodding mounds of ooze and are incredibly easy to hit. As you
Nice.
slice into it, there's this small blossom of frost, right? It does not seem
very small.
the ice does seem to hurt the jelly. The sword does not. And again, the jelly splits.
All right. Also, my max HP reduces by 6. So
Okay.
that'll be in turn.
So now the horde of jellies turn and begin to just
Pseudopod.
just throw out pseudopods. So we're probably gonna do we'll do the first one at Bones, and then we'll do the second 2 at Ashes.
They all go at the
18
same
to
time?
Bones. Say
Yeah,
what?
that hits.
Okay.
I said
So-
they all go at the same time.
Yeah, they're all swinging at the same time. Yeah, they're all still.
Okay.
It's like a hive mind. They're all still like one-ish creature, but now they've split into multiple bodies.
Okay.
So,
that hits. All uncanny dodge.
hits right. Kind of, you take the brunt of the damage and you shoulder aside. Right, you feel a sizzle burn across your flesh as there's an acidic component to these jellies, and then another 2 attacks at Ashes. One's a 7, that's a miss, and one's a 20, that's a hit.
That might in fact hit.
Might in fact hit. So 8 bludgeoning and 6 acid to you, Ashes. And then Matastai's up.
Taking 14.
Key. Which one have we?
Huh?
Which one have we hit?
Well, all of them have been hit, but none of them. You have
There's
no
2 damage on one of them.
Yeah, you have no concept of how these creatures like look or feel. They keep on splitting and moving.
Jeremy, the cat wasn't on.
Did you roll?
I did. It was a 12.
Okay. Are you rolling the ability? Don't roll the dex. Don't roll
Oh, right,
dexterity.
I clicked his name.
Yeah, click the actual. Well, you can either click the name or there is a little initiative dice. Right? In the armor class hit point speed field, there's a little initiative dice out to the side.
Okay, so Panther would go before us.
Okay, not a problem.
He's gonna run up and bite.
Sure, by all means. You had a 14? That's good. Alright, so he runs up and bites. Go ahead and do it for me.
Okay. Bite.
That is a hit, actually.
Bite.
Okay. The panther wolf sinks its fangs into one of these jellies and begins to kind of like rend and tear, and that does seem to actually have some sort of effect on the creatures. Piercing damage does seem to work on them.
Okay. I
Matashtai.
run forward, wielding Ton Bakiri off my back.
Okay.
And I'm to commence the stabbing.
Stab 11.
Stab 1.
Okay, that's a hit.
Damage.
Okay. As you slice into this jelly, it begins to wither and pop and die.
Perfect. Then move up here.
Okay.
And I charge forward and axe kick the middle one.
Okay.
$10 damage.
You hit, and then your magic foot. I love this. Your magic foot drops onto the smaller pile of jelly, and it sizzles, quivers, pops, and hisses, and dies.
They take no damage for melee attacking these?
Nope, not for these.
Cool.
Not for ochre jellies. Ochre jellies are their.
Hold on, let me make sure I can move all this.
At least not in what it shows here. I guess I
can't remember. How did you do corners, like diagonal movement again?
5, and then if you do another one, it's 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5, 10.
But if you move, it's like you can. If you right click, it'll do it correctly.
Yeah.
Right click while I'm holding what?
Well, the only. Yeah, if you pick your token up and then you right-click your movement around. The only thing about it is if you do some movement and then you do something and then you do some more movement, it doesn't calculate what you did previously. So you could do like a 5-foot, stop, and then pick yourself up and do another 5-foot, and then stop, and then pick yourself up and do another 5-foot. So it's kind of a weird.
Okay, well, don't do it that way.
Well, yeah, but like he split up his movement. So he attacked, then he moved, then he attacked, and now he's moving again. So it's kind of he's not doing it intentionally, but it's harder to perfect that, you know.
Well, I can't right click
yeah.
while holding down on my laptop.
I feel you.
so-
Don't worry about it, man. Where you
Isn't
went
it,
from
though,
here?
If you go 5, you can go diagonal. It's 5, and then if
Yeah.
you go like,
So if you
I'm going to.
is it 2 direction? Yeah, no.
Went
I'm
from
gonna kick his
there
last name.
to there, and you're going over here. Is that what your plan is? Oh, you're going over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have you have plenty of
Absolutely.
movement to do that. Absolutely.
I wanted to go here.
Oh, with you then yes, you're fine. You can totally go
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
And 11 will hit, and this one does not wither under your strike, but you do connect solidly with it, and there's this kind of like kerthunk, and the jelly itself actually kind of like moves away from your blow, like it doesn't. It like having taken the blow, it retracts away from you, right, and then regathers, but some of it gets left behind in the movement. Okay.
Okay.
And then we come to Ezra, who was surprised.
So I do nothing.
Bones, what do you want to do? I don't think it's going to amount to much. Sorry, Jake.
No, you're good.
Well, I'm pretty ineffective, so I'm gonna. He was pretty effective smacking on. I'm gonna drop my two-handed thing behind me. I'm gonna pull out my boomerang.
Okay.
I'm gonna pop it with it.
Gotcha.
Look like a glove.
So, like a club? Okay, sure. Ah! I white-screened. For the first time tonight, I white-screened. Right here at
26
the
to
end.
hit.
Right?
It's a 26 to hit.
26 to hit
It's
definitely
7
hits.
bludgeoning damage.
How much?
7.
7 bludgeoning. Does it do anything else?
Snake attack. 16.
Okay. Gotcha. And your sneak attack is always the same type
The
of
same
damage.
type of whatever I hit with.
Gotcha. Fantastic. So I'm still loading.
23 damage.
Yeah, I'm loading back in, but you squelched that thing. Like it's super dead.
Yeah,
So
smack it.
yeah, so you do that and you hit it, right? And it does the whole sizzle pop. Right? And because it had 13 health left. And the moments pass, and there's still like the little piles of jelly are still kind of like hissing and crackling and burning away. But it seems as though the threat has passed. The creature is defeated. Congratulations. So, you guys gain
I helped.
150 experience for
You won,
the
baby.
ochre jelly.
Good job, guys.
The
Where
ochre
did you get
jelly
experience for that
at
room or anything?
the altar of Jubilee.
Jublex.
The altar of Judah.
Oh, that guy.
That's the name of this room, is the altar of Jude. Or Dweeblex, or
Well, it's
however you
very
say it.
apropos that there was.
So there's still this like small riser, just a little bit of a pedestal upon which this thing had been resting, right? And the abyssal script is still there, but now there's nothing in this room except, right, those eyes and gaping mouths, right?
There's nothing on the altar?
Still dripping that weird black. Yeah, no, there's nothing that was held within or underneath the ochre jelly. I don't think so. Anyways, let me check.
Got nib shit caught.
Nope. Yeah. You get nothing for your trouble. Underneath, like hidden underneath the ochre jelly or anything. So, but before we go crazy with anything else, it is 10:05 and we just finished a combat, so I think that is probably going to be a pretty good place to close it out for the night. You guys got You guys got a bunch of exploration done. Alright, so that's pretty cool. And Ezra may or may not have found his information on Calabash, so that's cool.
Calabash.
So, we can come back next week and you guys can keep exploring to the north once, or we can figure out where we go from there. So,
Sounds good.
Happy New Year!
yeah, Happy New
Happy
Year,
New
everyone.
Happy New Year.
Welcome to 2020.
Anybody that might be watching the stream.
Hopefully, it's going to be a good
Someone already went unconscious, yay!
one. Look,
And has skeletal
you have
hands.
skeletal hands. I'm so excited.
Yay.
I mean,
he's not
here's the
excited.
thing,
I'm
like,
excited.
It doesn't seem like there's any kind of detriment yet. So right now it's kind of cool, but
It's kind of a cosmetic effect.
It mirrors my chill touch and mage hand, so there's something
It's-
added
you
element
know?
too.
Like, saying.
you should just like minor illusion goop on your hands now.
Right. So this is why, like, 2 years from now, Ezra's going to be wearing gloves all the time, and people are going to be like, why is Ezra so anal about wearing his gloves, right? And then that's why.
Did you just turn me into Elsa?
Conceal, don't
I-
feel, don't let them in.
That is the note we're going to end on. Hope everyone had a good time. We'll see you next Wednesday.
I got
Peace.
Let it
Alright.
go.
Night, guys.
Let